and putting us on. Hi, everybody. We're back, me and Brandon, for Makko Builds Live. We're going to be talking through a whole bunch of stuff today, working on a little Sector Scavengers update, doing some Rift Runners Live, updating you on some of the platform updates and feature improvements that we've made, telling you a little bit about Marco/Letta, who's building out some games live on Makko AI. And but first, we're going to start with, if you haven't been to our Discord yet, if you haven't joined our Discord, you should do so. It's Makko.gg. Sorry, it's discord.gg/Makko. Uh, that's Makko, discord.gg/Makko. We have giveaways and contests that we run every week. Right now, if you show up and you build some art and share it with us in our Discord and our Reddit, you have a chance to win a $50 Steam gift card. We also have office hours at noon Pacific time. That's 12 p.m. Pacific time every Friday. And so if you want to stop by and share what you're building with us, or ask what we're building, or ask us questions, myself and the dev team are around to hang out and answer those questions on Fridays at noon Pacific. So without further ado, we'll drop in here. I'm gonna just hey, how's it going? Vins and Igor are both in the chat.
And
Thanks
look
for
at that, they're
joining us,
waiting for
guys.
us too. Yeah,
I
they're
know.
waiting.
You guys are great.
It's awesome.
We really appreciate you tuning in and hanging out and participating in the chat every day, or every stream. I hope you guys learned something too, because it's great. You know, you guys have been here for, I think, like 4 hours collectively watching us, which is a lot. I mean, I don't know if I can watch myself for 4 hours. So anyway, I hope you guys are learning stuff. We really appreciate you. I'm going to dive into a Sector Scavengers update. Let me share my screen here. I am sharing Sector Scavengers as it looks in Makko.ai. You can see I was making some changes to the way that some stuff shows up in the game, the tutorial box, some status overlays. And I made some pretty significant updates to the difficulty of the game. How often, so sorry, just to recap, Sector Scavengers is a deck building roguelike game, meaning as a player, you collect a deck of cards and build a deck of cards every run. Meaning every time I click new run here, I'm starting with a new deck of cards. There's a base set of cards that you get based on the character that you're playing. Right now, there's only one in the demo. And then you build around that set of base cards as you play the game, discovering new cards as you search through derelict spacecraft and try to salvage valuable detritus or loot to sell to your robot overlords. So you can see here, over the last couple of weeks, we've really updated and upgraded the UI here. It's a lot crisper and more unified.
I was about to say the exact same word. It's a lot more crisp.
So yeah, it's a lot cleaner, a lot crisper. I'm still working on the words in the cards, but per Jeremy's advice, which I agree with, we're gonna, now that the game doesn't look like total garbage to look at, we're gonna now focus on making it really fun. So as a reminder, what you're seeing here, every room in the ship that you're salvaging through has an encounter that happens in it. So in this case, the encounter is that there's a coolant leak, there's a ruptured cooling line, there's some fiction around it, and it tells you what you have to do. Heal cards, seal the breach. So you need to do that, and you will get whole regen plus credits when you finish the encounter. That's like all of the information you need to know about the encounter there. And now, you can see here I have heal cards and attack cards. We'll probably rename those, but you play the heal card. You complete the encounter. You get a little spinner that tells you what kind of loot you're getting and how valuable it is. I need to change this text here because it's unreadable. And there's just some fiction around like what you got. And then here's your hull reinforced 2 scrap. So now the player can either explore or bug out or extract, meaning they leave with the loot that they've got, 28,000. If they bug out instead of extract, then they lose some percentage of their loot, up to 50%. Now, as they're playing, the character can decide to explore a room or continue further down the passage. Still working on how we're going to tell characters this, but if you explore rooms, you have higher chances of getting good stuff and you have higher chances of dying. And as you continue further, the rooms become more difficult and more valuable to complete. So I'm going to explore a room, see my cards go away, incoming signal. There's some fiction here. I'm going to choose some stuff and lose some credits because there was a fight amongst my crew. Looks like in this encounter, it's a loose cargo. I have to play attack cards to secure the load. So now I'm going to secure the load. I'm getting some scrap here. It's telling me how much it's worth. And I've completed the encounter. So it's telling me how much I got for completing the encounter. And now you can see the feedback. Sorry, that's all summary how the game works. The feedback that I got from Jeremy a couple of weeks ago was that it didn't feel like anything mattered because he could just play cards over and over again and never die. And so what I did is I built a simulation with Claude that allowed me to tell the game that I wanted it to be harder. I wanted it to, and specifically that I wanted to make it so the player like was never in a situation where they just felt like they couldn't die. And so now the way the way that was a bug, obviously, the way that we solved that, you can see we're almost dead here, is now every card that you play has a some sort of damage that it does to the ship, with the idea that like moving around in these derelicts at all is going to cause damage. And based on the type of action that you take and how far you are in the ship, that determines how much damage that you take when you take an action. So you can see here, like we're already down to 33 out of 100 hull, and we're losing like 20, I think, per action. That was only 8, but I guess it could be 8 to 20. Now you can see it's flashing. You're more likely to die. I don't have an extract card here, and I don't want to extract. I don't want to bug out because I have 63,000 loot, and it looks like I took enough damage to die there. And so now again, the idea is that the game is tuned. It's probably a little bit too hard now, but the idea is you should never feel like you're just pressing buttons and not having any outcome or any visible consequence to those cards being played.
Yeah,
So
like
now
that it gives you a strategic pressure to choose the right card and then to explore a room that's crumbling around you, so you can extract the stuff, so you can pay your corporate overlords.
overlords.
Yeah, we got it.
And one other constraint that we put in is that when you're exploring a room, you can no longer extract from the ship from a room. You can only extract from the ship from the corridor. So if I'm in this room and I want to leave the room, I have to get an extract card, or sorry, I have to beat the room's encounter to open up explore. In this case, it's going to be really hard because I need a containment card, which is the blue. Oh, there we go. I got a blue card. And so I beat the encounter. I get the little spinner. And the reason I did the spinner was so it's really clear to the player how much money they're getting, salvage they're getting every time. It was super unclear before. And so now that I have cleared the encounter, I got my credits. I have 4 health left. I'm going to try to get out, but it might collapse on me. I'm not sure. Yeah, here we go. So now I've got, again, 4 health to get out of here. We're going to see if I extract. I think it might kill me, but we're going to find out. No. Oh, yeah, it did. So like I tried to extract. I didn't have enough health. And so I died. So I think if I would have played a repair card there, I might have been able to get out. But again, now the player actually has the opportunity to like do that math and have that risk reward feeling. So Jeremy, I see you joined. I was just talking about how I went through a quick summary of what we've been doing with Sector Scavengers so far and showed some of the screens as a reminder. And then what I was telling Brandon and the folks watching is that per your suggestion, I built that simulation and really spent a lot of time tuning the damage and the healing and the how that relates to the exploration of the ship. and so the player is much more likely to feel the tension as they explore the ship beyond like 2 or 3 rooms, or as they explore more than one ship, because they're taking a lot more damage per play now, and they're taking damage every play guaranteed, and so they must now pay attention to their health. Otherwise, they're gonna die if they go to like more than 2 or 3 rooms in a ship, without doing any repairs, or just being smart about it. If they just continue to play clear debris cards, or finish the encounters without trying to repair the ship at all.
Cool.
And so that's what we're doing here. Do you guys have any questions? Do you have any thoughts?
Well, I think it's looking pretty, like, a lot better than it was last time after you've done some of the balancing, because I know last week we kind of went over your balance sheets and all that. And so it seems like, it's tuned a little bit hard, but there's a good purpose here. There's a little bit more strategy, which is great.
And it was really painful because I added some stuff here that is important for the tuning that we did, but it looks really bad. And I've been really, really resisting the effort to go and like clean up all of the bad looking stuff, because it doesn't need to be cleaned up. Many of these screens that we're looking at now are going to get consolidated into one screen, and that's why I every time I'm about to do it, I'm like, oh, this is not the right place to spend the time. So it's been a good exercise in discipline for me.
It's a pretty good mindset, yeah, because you want to make sure everything is in place before you start creating the final assets for it.
Well, and I wasn't before. Even last week when I was working on it, Jeremy was like, "You just said you're going to go do a bunch of work on your cards. Like, don't do that. go make there. Maybe it was 2 weeks ago. Go make the game more fun." And he's totally right. Like I could have spent as much time as I spent on this tuning, which is much better for the game. The tuning, just like obsessing over every screen. And I think I do want to obsess over every screen, but like not now. Like once the game is objectively more fun, I want to obsess over every screen.
I agree. You should be able to play it ugly, and then the game, I've said this before, but the game should be like fun in any state. Like the loop should be fun. Like there's a lot of prototypes and things that you do, and you can build levels, and they're fun with or without graphics, and then you add the graphics for the feel and the marketing really. But games are ultimately fun. Like we were just playing game from one of our co-founders, Mike. It's a board game. It's very simple. A bunch of squares and a couple figurines, right? So, in board games, they go for nice finishes and wood and all this stuff. But at the end of the day, it's just squares and figures.
Yeah,
right?
It was like really elaborate tic-tac-toe.
Yeah, and
it was really fun. I say that like you would hear that and like, oh, that probably isn't very fun. It was really, really, really fun.
Yeah, and so like that just kind of shows like the core of making games right there, right? The core of making games, making something fun. I think it's why people have struggled so much to recreate MMOs, specifically MMORPGs, is like those early MMORPGs had, massive cult followings, not massive general audiences, but massive cult followings still to this day. And everybody's like, but they look better, and we added all these bells and whistles, and we did all these things. But I still don't think, a lot of people understand why people were so obsessed with them. And honestly, in those days, it was virtual chat rooms, basically, right? They were interactive chat rooms. So that's why they were fun, because we all spent all our time in chat rooms anyways. And then all of a sudden we had a video game on top of it. We're like, holy shit.
That's pretty funny. That's exactly what Tony and I were just talking about earlier today, where I'm playing WoW Classic for the first time ever. And I'm like, Tony, what's the addictive gameplay in the MMOs that you've been playing? And his immediate response was, oh, it's that virtual chat room. It's that raid that you can go on.
Yeah.
And I was telling him like I fell in love with Dark Age of Camelot when I was growing up. Like that was my addicting MMO. I played WoW, but I was in college by that point, so I was focused on other stuff. But like middle school and high school, Dark Age of Camelot was like I think it was in beta when I was in 7th or 8th grade. And the things I remember most about that game, and I've told you this before, Jeremy, was like I can remember one area distinctly. There was this cave that you went to between levels like 40 and 45 to farm these spiders that had a there was a spot in the cave where if you put your whole group in this very small corner, you could sit in like the perfect pulling spot if no one ever left that corner. And so like you'd send your puller out to go and bring all the spiders back, and then you had an area of attack guy that would kill all the spiders, and you'd loot them real quick, and it would reset every 5 minutes. And the one of the things that was so magical about that was like there was only one of those spots. It wasn't This is like before everything was instanced, right? And so there was literally only one of those spots on the server, and so you would go, and if that spot was taken, you would probably like a lot of the time you'd still want to farm in that cave, and you just go and fight all of the other spiders in the cave that weren't in that one pull spot until those people either died or left. And sometimes you do dastardly things like try to pull a bunch of mobs into them so they died and you could take their spot. People would do that to you. But like all of those social dynamics, that's what I just described. I just described a set of social dynamics. And that was what was really addicting to me. And I guess that goes back to like a very elaborate chat room, right?
Yeah. Well, what's funny is they saw that. I mean, Dark Age had PvP also, but they're like, oh, we'll just do open world PvP games, and it's not training a massive group of mobs on someone where they have no chance of surviving and you just run away is something so much better than like a gank in my mind. A gank, you just you're 20 levels higher and I'm ganked them. Good job. Like you're just picking on the little kids now, but training to someone that has been like cussing you out in chat or something, chef's kiss.
It's true. It's true. It's literally
Also in those old games, dying matters. So you gotta. I always remember Final Fantasy 11 and you'd be in the dunes or somewhere and people be pissed because they didn't set their home point and they got to run an hour back from town. Oh yeah, that was chef's kiss right there.
With Dark Age of Camelot, it was experience penalty, and so you would like by the time you got to the mid 40s, I think the cap was 50 when the game launched. It would take like a day to fill one of 10 bubbles that you needed to get a level up, and so if you died at those levels, it would take like a full bubble away from you, and people would lose their minds, right? They'd be like, I was at a half bubble till 45. They let you de-level at one point, and that got real toxic, so they took that away.
Oh, that's one of the most hilarious things ever, watching people die and seeing the level down animations, and they would show it to the entire server too. So it's not just like it's like the level up, but opposite. It's great.
Yeah.
Unless it happened to you, and then it was super mad. What's actually hilarious in Final Fantasy is people did that shit all the time, and they didn't even realize they were doing it. They just did it, and then everybody was pissed at them, and they're like, what? I just ran through the map and to the exit. And it's like, yeah, and everything in the map aggroes you, and now everybody in the map is dead.
You dragged all those things with you is what you did. So cool. So that's the update for Sector Scavengers. If anyone wants to check out more about Sector Scavengers, you can just go to sectorscavengers.com. There's a whole comic book about the lore and the gameplay. Feel free to check it out. We have like 620 wish lists. You could be on that list. And again, if you want to learn how to make this stuff, you can join the Discord at discord.gg/Makko, Makko. We are sharing tips and tricks in there, and we have office hours every Friday at noon where you can show up and get some education about how to do more stuff with Makko. At this point, I'm going to move over real quick, and I want to show off again some of the stuff that we've got our friend Letta doing. We've got this guy who is making a set of walkthroughs for how to make a game with Makko from like start to finish. You should check it out. They're cool. Here we go. Skip. this guy's been making basically like a little, I would call it like a beat 'em up game. You run back and forth with this little pirate, and there's other bad pirates that come and try to steal your gold, which is being held by this girl in the center of the map. He's built all of this art with Makko and then imported the art into Godot and is using the Godot Claude MCP to actually make the gameplay and integrate the assets, and he's making 100% of the assets with Makko. And so you can see here, he's walking through what he's done so far. He's showing off the website a little bit, but what he's done here is use our collection system to set the art style for the game. And so every time he comes back, he probably spends, I would bet he probably spends 30 minutes to an hour building the stuff that he's building every week for these videos, and maybe even less. And he's able to do that because he comes in and you can see he's got all of his existing art for the game here, and he's going to select this art as a reference so that every time he asks for new art, it provides this to whichever image generation model it's using, and in the background, Makko, when it sends the request over, does some prompt editing or prompt enhancement that basically says make sure that the thing that this person just asked for with all these words fits into the same style of the reference image. That's incredibly simplified, but that's what's going on here. And so now you can see he's building some anvils and some target reticles, and you can see the look and the feel is that same kind of, I wouldn't call it cartoony, but like fun, not fun, whimsical. Like the skull in my mind is like the perfect example. And this thing, right? These are like adorable clouds that are going to be spraying toxic waste. So the juxtaposition of cute with dangerous is a big part of this style. And you can see that it maintains that throughout. He didn't tell it like make clouds with smiley faces, right? He said make 2D cartoon clouds. So this is, again, just examples of how you can quickly use the collection system to make updates to art in your game if you're making something that you're going to be spending a bunch of time on. And then just real quick, you can see what this looks like in the game when he's got it working. Here we go. You can see he's added some bombs here, and those bombs you have to actually solve a quick puzzle in order to put them out. See, this is the bomb puzzle, and now it created the anvil storm, which I think happened pretty quick there. But that was the anvil storm was the thing that he was just the art that he was just making for. There we go.
Look at those bullets he's shooting.
They're beautiful. And you can see the reticles that he made are showing where the anvils are going to hit, so the player knows what they need to dodge. And then the anvils are falling from the sky using those animations that he created. And I want to see if the toxic wave is going to come, because the toxic wave is really good looking.
We need like a particle creator. Even the smoke, it's got that green tint. Not that stuff. That's supposed to be green, but the explosion's got the green tint from the green screen. Like maybe I can go back with. Actually, I don't think it's possible to get that out of there. Just too many aliased pixels. Basically, have to start redrawing it. But and then his. Sorry, I'm just being critical of our product. Then his explosion hits the edge of the image. It's like we need a preset for particle effects.
Yeah, don't let the animation end like off screen is like some sort of tenet we need to put in place with the AI.
Well, that exists. It's just I think we need different framing and everything. We need to make it a lot smaller. Like it already has all that guidance. It just ignores it.
And this is a big part of why we do these streams, guys, is because a lot of the time we'll be showing stuff off like this, and we'll find stuff that we want to change with the product live, and we'll do that. Like Jeremy's going to go do some stuff based on what he just saw.
And segue into talking about what we're doing with the product. So we did finally add, I'm not going to demo it because it's just simple. We did finally adding animations to your game. from the new animation pipeline, which is just something that needed to get done. Sorry, it took a couple weeks longer. We've been pretty busy with like actual in-person meetings, believe it or not. And then the only other real announcement, I mean, it's a big announcement. We're starting a new project called New Game Plus. That was a small, nifty project name. And basically, this is heavily inspired by Letta and Brandon doing the Godot thing. We basically New Game Plus is going to be a Godot compatible layer in Makko. So the idea is that you'll be able to build games in the same way you'd build them in Godot inside Makko, and then eventually we want to let you like take those to Godot. There's some transitions that will not be seamless. For example, we are in TypeScript and Godot is in C#, but eventually we want to make all that pretty seamless, and then actually have like a Makko app you download that essentially uses Godot as the engine. So then you can basically choose like, oh, I want a web native engine, or I want a Godot native engine, and go forward, because the stuff Letta is building is really good, and I personally think we've kind of hit the wall of like the true vibe code in Code Studio. So that's the big project we're working on right now, and hopefully that'll take all the games to the next level. That'll also add capabilities to actually like use the UI to edit levels and manipulate scenes and all of that stuff. So call it New Game Plus because I think we beat the vibe code game, and now we're starting over with a new experience. It's not exactly harder. New Game Plus is usually harder. It'll be easier. So it's backwards, but
New Game Minus, but that doesn't sound very brandable.
No, that's not very brandable. So, anyways, that's kind of the product announcements. Also, there'll be an alignment or resize tool coming. So we added animations. There's an asset manager now, and there'll be a resize tool coming this week, which lets you, similar to our alignment tool in the character sheet, the resize tool just lets you resize all your sprites dynamically inside Code Studio. So that's where that ultimately belongs, because you're manipulating your assets for your game. And so if you haven't seen the asset manager tool, you can go check it out. But those are the sort of tools that are coming for Code Studio. And then super secret prototype that I'm going to tell you about is we got one person working on a new workflow entirely. It's exploration, but hopefully we'll be able to pull something from it. But it's an exploration task to see, starting with game design first. We've talked a lot about that on stream, and then like basically do a vibe code off your game design, see if it gets dramatically better. And so he'll prototype that, and then basically we'll absorb whatever pieces we want from that into the product. But yeah, so it's fun times, lots of stuff going on. Sorry, no demos. I mean, I could demo stuff, but it's like add asset to game.
No. I think
not very interesting.
Yeah, no, I think that's a great update, and I'm excited to see how people start using the new tools. We every time we do this, we see a pretty significant uptick in the way people use the site. They make more stuff. They come back more often. They pay us. They subscribe more often. So we every time we add these little knob turns, we like to tell you about it, because it usually is some sort of quality of life upgrade for you all.
Yeah, and actually, Brandon, maybe that's a good thing you can work on after the beta environment is just in the admin panel, get like a community showcase or something where we can like select a couple and show what people are working on stream.
Oh, gotcha. So just take people's games and stuff and play them.
Yeah, we'll take something so we could curate it, send out we need to ask people if we can show them on stream, but then just see what people are working on, and then just a little quick 5-minute segment where we could just like download some a presentation or something and present it in the stream.
Sweet. Yeah,
Or we can do what one of our competitors did and make a bunch of fake games and put them on Steam, and then delete all the publisher accounts that they put it on Steam.
We shouldn't do that.
It's I always tell Tony that like all our competitors, not all of them, some of our competitors just do the wildest things. They just it's like, hey, we have these 25 actual games released, and some of them have been around in some capacity for a lot longer than us, like since like 2010 type stuff. But then you start going, and so it's like believable. It's right, like, oh, you've been around for a long time, and then you just start looking at their games, and it's like not launched a single one, and in fact, all the publishers have been deleted. So it's like they clearly just got a scene, kind of like Leta's game, and then posted a couple screenshots and then disappeared. So it's a fun little, well, not disappeared. I'm sure they just didn't pay their Steam subscription, because I think you got to pay like a yearly dev fee or something.
It's like $100, I think.
Yeah, so they made a bunch of developers publish the game, spent $1,000, whatever, spent $1,500 making all those developers, then let them expire. But the games don't get taken down, right? Because Steam doesn't want to like kill things that people have wishlist and things. So, anyways, fun. If you ever wonder how people do marketing, there you go. It's a unethical life hack. Lie to your customers.
Look at how great this is. Just kidding.
Well, look how great this other
we
thing
don't
is.
like. We're very intentional not to lie or mislead, or it's why we do this stream, right? Like we want people to see what we're doing, what we struggle with. We don't. I mean, those other products aren't going to get good by lying to people about what they do, right? Like your product only gets good by using it and being like, God damn, this sucks. And then you fix it. And then it doesn't suck. And then it doesn't suck for anybody.
Yep.
And that's why we're on this journey. I think, we're about 8 months in now from like when we started at the very beginning. And it's, in the world of AI, it seems like a long time, but in the world of software companies, it's very, very, very young. So
we haven't even had our first birthday cake yet.
That's true. And so Mike lives in the Shire in Washington.
That's true.
Quite literally, Washington State. Went to his house the first time, and he offered to host our first birthday party. So we'll have to get out to Seattle and have a Shire themed birthday. Unfortunately, his Shire shed, or his Frodo's house shed. I don't even know what to call it. Hobbit hole.
His Hobbit hole. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Unfortunately, it will not be done, but that would have been hilarious to.
Yeah, he's making a mother-in-law suite in his backyard that actually has like the round doors and like looks like a Hobbit hole. It's pretty sweet.
That's awesome.
Yeah, when we were on our way, Tony was like, Mike lives in, I just want to prepare you. Mike lives in the Shire. And I was like, okay. I mean, we're Washington, right? Like, we're going to, it's a town called Woodinville, which is known for like being a more like wooden suburb of Seattle, right? Like there's more trees, people cut less down, it's less dense houses because it's farther away from the city, right? So a lot of people are like, I'm not driving. They're also known for their wineries, but I'm like, yeah, it'll be in trees, whatever. It's in Woodinville. Then we get out there and it's like, nope, literally the Shire, 100%. And there's secret rooms all over his house. It's like so Mike founded Penny Arcade Expo, so he joined Penny Arcade really early on. And then they made PAX, and so he definitely took his love for gaming and D&D and tabletop straight into his house, and obviously Lord of the Rings. Oh, there is also his wife likes to draw and is an artist, and she has an entire magical map in the bathroom of just magical places. Like all of the Lord of the Rings world, like there's like Star Wars, there's Narnia, it's crazy. It's just this, like,
Wizard of Oz. It's
yeah,
all,
Wizard of
and then
Oz.
like Seattle's in there. It's and it's all like the maps from these places. It's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, that Cloud City was above Rivendell, and I was like, huh. I didn't realize there was a Cloud City in Lord of the Rings. And then I came into the bathroom and I was talking to them, and they're like, oh yeah, we just did everything. And it's like, okay, that makes a little bit more sense. I was like, I'm pretty sure that's Star Wars, but I know I'm getting old and my memory is getting worse, but pretty sure that's Star Wars.
You didn't find Lando in the Hobbit hole?
Multiple, his son's name is Lando, and yeah, he's got like multiple sets of armor and like swords, like rapiers and
oh yeah,
all kinds
that
of
was
shit.
That was funny. I was walking in, didn't see it. I'm surprised I didn't see it when I walked in, because there's a big staircase going upstairs, and behind it there's just armor. And I didn't notice that. We were having some drinks, and I looked out through the I don't even know what to call that, the game room, to the stairs, and I was like, holy shit, there's two things of armor on your staircase.
He said when he sold his last house, he had like a game room, and they were showing the house, and the people that bought it were like, but we want all the stuff too. And he was like, you can't have my stuff. He's like, you can't have my armor and my swords and all my board games, because they're like, it's displayed so nicely. We just want all of it. He's like, yeah, I know. I spent a lot of time on that.
Yeah. So this is a good reminder. If you're a nerd, you work hard. Like, you work for 30 years, you work your ass off. This is what you can have: houses with plates of armor and Lord of the Rings maps, or fantasy maps. All right, what's next on the docket? Sorry, I just had to share Mike's experience with the world, his house experience with the world.
I want to see some pictures.
It is incredible.
That is
well,
crazy.
you'll have to come out here when we do the first party.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got more pictures of the cats. They're huge, fluffy, and cute.
They're adorable.
Wait, I'm assuming that they also have really cool nerdy names too, the cats.
Merlin,
Hufflepuff, Merlin, and Nox. I don't know what Nox is. Maybe Nox is NOX Nox. Let's see, Nox game character.
It's gotta be.
Well, I'm gonna assume it's not that one. Oh, Nox is an actual video game series, but an old series. So the first thing that came up is a character from an anime, and I was like, probably not that. That's not them. But the old game series could be possible. I should ask. I mean, the other two are obvious. So
yeah, they're adorable cats too. All right, we were going to dive into a little Rift Runners. Brandon, do you want to tell us where we left off first, and then what we are going to dive into today next?
Yeah, so we'll just do a little game demo here and where we left off. So we were going through our sandbox area, making sure that we were finding the fun here. And so we added a cool sliding area. We don't have an animation for it, but you can slide underneath this platform. And we added some logic there too, so you don't get stuck on anything. And then we also were able to come in and add platforms in a zipper formation to add a little bit of excitement. We timed it up so you can run right by it as a proof of concept. Oh, I hit it. I was trying to slide under it like a cool person, but didn't work out. But the goal there was to be able to try to time it, and once you have the timing down, you can flow through the entire level. Yeah, and so you can do that with the slide, and you can also get through it this way with a dash. And so I did a really short dash right there too. So I also added a double jump here, so we can jump on top of things. Didn't do that in the stream, but just added that as another state there, because that's a mechanic that we wanted to add for everything. Then also did some quality of life stuff. If you actually die, it just resets you now, so we don't have to go through all the menus. So yeah, so we spent, I believe that's what we were up to last time, making sure that this platforming area can actually kill you right there, and then to make sure it actually felt good.
Yep. And then we built the slide with that little. We built that half tile set
Yeah,
and learned how to build tile sets in Godot.
that's right. Oh, so going that way is a little difficult, but I like the flow of this thing. It feels pretty good.
So what do you? And now what are we going to work on today?
So I'm thinking that we go through and just make a level. So I believe we have all of the game mechanics that we want for movement. And then we also have our swap air that we have here. So if I hit tab, we swap air. So it looks exactly the same right now. We just have a little color change when we swap air. So right now we're in era 2, and hit tab or in era 1 again. It's just a color change, and we have a tile set that we can change as well eventually when we want to make it look good. So I'm thinking that we can add a roadblock here and force the player to change to the other era. So I want to kind of mess around with those two things today. So what we
Awesome.
can do, yeah.
Jeremy, any thoughts on that being what we work on today?
You're muted.
Oh, yeah, you're muted.
There you go.
Sorry, a buddy just messaged me and he was like, "Hey, can you I think it's the Steam page. I'll post it in the Twitch and YouTube, I guess. But basically, sorry. This is a good thing about owning your own shit is you can plug your buddy's game. There's this Reaper Actual. It's a true early access game. It's a shooter. I don't know if how many people like the shooters, but they're currently actively developing it. It's you notice the reviews. It's truly an early access game. They got to like alpha and just released. Seems to be this is good. This is a good learning lesson for the room. There's a lot of negative reviews from it looks like May. So they released really early to just get out, but there's a price tag attached to it, right? So like I think they probably did it a little bit too early. Now it's July, the reviews are getting a little bit better, but just remember, Steam reviews stay there forever. So when you go to the public, consider that. I think for this audience, that's actually a pretty good lesson, right? Because like as you are finishing your game and starting to release, maybe release a demo or something. And I know people are getting sick of early access slop. We call AI slop, but there's a lot of early access slop, right? Anyways, check it out.
Who do you know working here, Jeremy?
So one of my old managers, Michael Hunley, from a while back. Seems like it's his company. I don't know. He's been doing.
I mean, it's Smedley's company.
Oh yeah. Then yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Smed was doing a bunch of stuff at Amazon and then left. He's the guy that did EverQuest.
Yeah, Hunley always talked about working with Smedley, so I assume that's where it's all there. But Smedley is like the EQ creator, right? So
yeah, that's what I say. He's credited with creating EQ.
So, anyways,
and then Daisy.
Yeah, Daisy, and they're also were the ones doing the shooters at Amazon. I forgot what it's called, the Battle Royale that they scrapped. It was I don't know. It's just San Diego studio. So, anyways, I haven't played it yet. That's what he was asking. He's like, "We're doing a play test tomorrow. Will you buy it and get on tomorrow?" So, and I was like, "Sure," and I'll plug it on this stream too. Oh, the play test, since it's a multiplayer game, if someone wants to buy it and play it, I cannot promise it's good. I never said that. I have not played it, full disclosure. But it's always good to help. I mean, Smedley's not exactly an indie, but he, like it's not easy to make games, even if you've done it before. See, do a community play test tomorrow at noon and 8 Pacific. So, say, there you go. If you hop on, if you buy it and hop on at that time, there'll be people playing. And seems like that's what I'll be doing tomorrow. I hope it's not just like complete AI slop. No, they made a lot of games. I doubt it. I do find it interesting. No, it's a looter shooter. Okay.
Yeah.
There's not a ton of looter shooters anymore that are good after that Ubisoft one disappeared. Oh, yeah, but there's more.
The Division. Yeah.
Yeah. This seems more like Division than Borderlands, but
yeah.
Do you want to pop it up?
I mean, I didn't buy it yet.
No, I was showing it.
Oh,
but I didn't have my stream up. That's fine.
Yeah.
They yeah. We'll check it out for sure.
Always good. And yeah, if you guys, just for the stream, if you guys ever have, not that we have a massive following here though, but I will promote things that look interesting that people are making. Doesn't even have to be on Makko. Like one thing in the startup world, and I think it's really good to keep this in the indie game world too, is like, it's like everybody's willing to promote everybody because everybody just wants everybody to be successful. It's not really a
PvP.
Yeah, it's not really PvP. It's like there's enough people in market out there for everybody to kind of succeed to some capacity. Everybody can't have $100 million a year game, but everybody certainly can have a $500,000 a year game. So
I think one of my favorite examples is Balatro, and a lot of indie games actually have Balatro in it. And so like Dave the Diver has a version of Balatro in it. And it's just sharing the love, sharing the game, because Balatro won I think it was indie game of the year one year.
Yeah,
and so sharing that love, promoting other games.
Yeah, and they're just unambiguously beloved by the indie community, right? Everyone loves Balatro.
Yeah, and you can afford to do that when you're a solo dev and whatnot. Because like if Balatro was a big company, they'd be suing people to oblivion, right? Like it'd be. That's just how it goes. So it's I think it's always important to support smaller devs, not even just indie. I mean, I would consider, you've never heard of Distinct Possibility Studios, right? Like I would consider them an indie at this point.
Would you say that there's a distinct possibility that somebody's heard of them?
Maybe.
There's actually more of a distinct possibility that people have not heard of them.
Oh no.
Oh, okay. Now I see why they named their company this. Their company acronym is DPS.
That's funny.
Oh, Matt Higbee. There you go. It's the getting the crew together.
Is that another Amazon guy?
Yeah, a lot of names I recognize from somewhere. Let's see. Let's look at his LinkedIn. Oh, maybe it was SOE. I heard his name from.
Oh yeah, there's a bunch of SOE guys with SMED.
Yeah, remember the Dead by Daylight company?
Behavior. Behavior Interactive.
Maybe that wasn't it. What did Amazon buy down there where they like acquired a lot of those guys?
The Killer Instinct Studio.
No. That was LA. There was a different one in San Diego.
The San Diego studio. Yeah.
Anyways.
People made Top Gear?
Yes.
Yeah. Anyways, there was definitely something we acquired, and a lot of those guys in San Diego were at Amazon for anywhere from a month to 2 to several years. They did not ever launch anything, but I'm sure Amazon paid them a lot of money to not launch anything.
It's true.
Anyways, all right. Sorry. Small segue. I just got that email. Thought I'd plug it in.
No, that's pretty cool. All right, so we're trying to build out some sort of a sandbox level right here. And so I'm trying to add different perspectives that I think will flow okay. And so the goal here is to just kind of run through this first area pretty quickly. Go down a wall slide here, simple, go down to some moving platforms, and then sprint through and try to slide under, but I think we should add like some sort of a blocker here too. So you have to swap to eras. So we get a little bit of game mechanic going with the movement that we have and flowing, and then we add a blocker for our other big game mechanic. So
I don't know why the blocker. Why is the blocker there?
Oh yeah, where do you think we should put it? Do you think we should have it
weird.
sooner?
It feels weird putting it at the end because then like there's no. It's just like stopping you, right? It doesn't actually like show the player that they have to use the time swap to progress.
Yeah, and I wasn't envisioning this as the end here, but it would be not the beginning. But yeah, we can add more things on. I mean,
so
we
you're
could
thinking it's kind of like start platforming and then do the time swap.
Yeah, it's either start platforming and do the time swap, or we could just start with a type of time swap and then get into platforming and to teach them the mechanic.
Is this the real first level? Like, I assume this is not like your prototype level anymore.
We're still in the sandbox, but I mean, it's really easy to just put it into another scene for another level too.
Well, because I'm not talking about like copy and pasting in a scene. I'm just curious, like, what the intent of this level is. Because if it's still a sandbox, and just keep adding on, because right, you're not worrying about designing the level yet. You're just designing mechanics.
We're just messing with mechanics. That's what I was saying. Like, I would just put the time swap mechanic, like, put it at the beginning here before that slide, maybe.
So I can take away this platform, but I mean that's very, very soon. And you're like, oh, I don't know what to do. So maybe
that's what I was saying. Like, put the what I would make the block on that second platform that your mouse is right next to right now.
This one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
And like, actually, you know what you could do? You could make the wall. Nope. Right. That wall. Make that taller.
Yeah.
And then make it so it's a wall climb when it's in a different era. Like all the different era does is add a wall next to this one going parallel.
Yeah.
So you can get up it. That's what I would do there.
So you're saying make this really tall.
Yep. And then the time swap would just have it to the left by like 2 squares or 3 squares or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Right. You would just add another vertical wall.
Okay. So let's go. Click here. Why did it add it? 1 sec.
Do you already have functionality to do a time swap?
Yeah, we have the functionality to do that. So if we go in here, and then time swap, there we go. So the level is how it was before I added that wall and moved everything around in this time. So then time swap. Yep.
Got it. Cool.
Yep. So with here, you can double jump. We didn't add the wall slide box to this. So you can't really wall slide on that. I mean, we could add that, but they're not going to be able to go anywhere, which is by design. And so, yeah. Time swap into era 2, and era 2 doesn't have everything that I added, so let's go fix that so we can go over this way. Yeah, so here's era 1 that we're looking at.
So how does a time swap do? Is it just like 2 unique levels that it's swapping between?
Yeah, it's swapping between these 2 eras on the left hand side. These are different nodes that we have. A node 2D that has its own terrain, and then the slide under mechanic that we added, which is a half box terrain.
Yeah, I wonder if there's a better way. Sorry, I'm just thinking like that's going to be a nightmare for any level that's like decently long, right? You're going to have to duplicate the entire level.
Yeah, you duplicate it and make changes to it. So yeah, like how would you go and iterate on that? You'd have to do era 1, then era 2.
Yeah, I mean, and these levels aren't going to be short, right? They're not going to be like 10 seconds, they're going to be like, one of our tenants is like exploration, right? So,
Yep.
So like if you just have like I'm thinking like an Ori type massive world, do you really want? I'm wondering if there's like ways to mark certain sections and be able to have sections that you time swap, not the entire map. That way you're just aligning two different sections with each other. And can you see both of them at the same time?
That's what I was trying to figure out here.
Because that's the other thing you're going to want to be able to figure out. You're definitely going to want to be able to overlay.
Yeah.
Anyways, these are the sort of things you definitely want to like figure out now, because like your world building tools matter almost as much as the game itself, because if complexity just goes from like 1 to 2 and you suddenly have to take 45 minutes making small edits, that's gonna basically destroy your ability to do anything.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that makes sense. And yeah, I can do that off stream too. Just changing kind of the mechanics of how we swap between Era 1 and Era 2. I think it is like in the sandbox though, like we can kind of get a mechanic going. So let's see. Let me just read through this real quick. Oh, they're not separate scenes that we can load right now. They already coexist. So the apply era toggles between both of them. Yeah. Yeah, so to overlay, you'd have to keep the interactive era like ghosted, but hopefully that's just in the tool itself and not when we're playing the game. We'll keep it sandbox only right now. Yeah. Wait. Yeah. Keep sandbox only.
Real quick, I'm gonna go get some coffee real quick. I was up playing League last night pretty late, and I don't do good on like 5 hours of sleep anymore. So I was moving real slow and showering, and I hadn't showered in like 3 days. You know, good remote work from home life, and I need a second cup of coffee.
If anyone's curious, we got washed. We got the last 3 games were terrible.
So Riot's returning player experience sucks. I haven't played in like 6 years, and it's like, oh, you used to be a good player, so we are not going to start you in Iron and Bronze, which is where I deserve to be right now. And so when I queue by myself, I get fucking smashed, and then when I queue with Tony, we get also smashed. But then it's just like you might get with like one lane, or like I kind of feel bad because like some of the games my lane really sucked when we queued with Tony, but then the other lanes were the good ones, like top and mid, and they just completely massacred their lanes because they're playing against like they're like gold players playing against bronze players. And anyways, it's a mess. Anyways, we did not do good. Anyways, I need more coffee. I'll be back.
Tony, which player do you play with?
Mostly Jax, and if I can't get jungle, then I'll go Akali mid. I used to be okay with Poppy, but they changed her so much that I don't even know how to play her anymore. And I'm okay with Fiddlesticks too, but Jax is definitely my main character. Like I can feel like I'm actually like making a difference on the team sometimes when I'm playing Jax. Although sometimes the difference I'm making isn't always positive. Sometimes it's I'm the reason. Yeah. So what do we do? What are we doing with the builder here?
We're just making it so swapping errors is a little easier, and it's gonna walk me through like how I can just do the tile editor in both errors.
Easier from a tool standpoint, right? Like a swapping while you're building, not from a user playing the game standpoint, right?
Right, yeah, because when you're playing the game, you just hit the tab button and everything works.
Yeah. And so what are the things that it's going to change in is it in Godot or in like what is it changing?
Yeah, it's changing the script in Godot right now, but then it's also just walking me through it with this list right here. So open sandbox, click swap sandbox node. Oh, okay, yeah, so that's what we were in. Swap sandbox node. Oh, so this is just how the. I don't think I described it very well to the AI. Cool. Yeah, so the goal is that we have our terrain here for Era 2, and we have our terrain here for Era 1, and they should be displaying different things here. So we can just easily go through and change our platform with the tile editor here. Cool. Okay, so Era 2 is visible false. Why is it in a script file that I need to edit this? Okay, so in the scene doc, top left tree, find Era 2 node. Small icon. Oh, gotcha. Oh, it's just hidden. Hey, look at that. We did it. Oh, for the background.
Hey, look at
only.
that. Oh,
Wait.
you got to move. Oh, no.
Actually, that's not too bad. All right, so that's pretty easy right now. So I will move this. Get my selector out. What's the hotkey for that? S. That makes sense. And I'm just going to remove this, actually. Whoa, that's wild. It's going to paint it 1,000 times. Here. So in Era 2, I just want to delete this platform. And honestly, yeah, so we in our second arrow, we want to get past that blocker that we put in the first arrow. So if you look at Era 1 right now, I think it's looking okay. So we have Era 2 selected. And I think we should just delete these things. Yep. Can I just hold it down? No, I'm trying to think of like an easy way to delete. I think it's this, no paint, select, delete, edit, delete. There we go. Cool. And then get rid of these platforms too. Oh wait, these are.
Am I really?
Oh wait, you heard me and I was muted. That's how. Oh wait, no.
No, it was fine.
Wait, could you guys hear me there? Because I was definitely muted.
No,
that's
I got
weird.
you.
Hold on.
I just saw your Discord message. I had texted you like 5 minutes ago or 2 minutes ago.
Oh. Oh yeah, my buddy's like, "What's your stream?"
Cool. Then now I have the death thing set to be too high up, so we can't go farther down the level. I asked it to change it up here, but let's see. So the fall kill Y bounds. Oh. Okay, so in run screen Godot. I'll just tell it to update it. All right, well, it's working on that. I don't know, Tony, how do you, like, so we have this tall wall right here.
What I was thinking was that you would make it so when you change eras, it doesn't remove that wall. It adds a wall right next to it, and we with a wall jump uh, space to the left of it.
Yeah,
Because then
that
it would
sounds
be
good.
like it'd be just more interesting than just like the wall disappearing when the what's it called the era changes, in my opinion.
Yeah. Okay, so we have Air 1 overlaid on Air 2 here. I'm going to click.
What are these yellow and blue backgrounds?
Yeah, we can remove them, but it is, I believe it is just the background for the game that we haven't made look good at all.
Oh, gotcha.
So they're just the background nodes right here. All right. So here's that. All right, so now I have Aero 1, Terrain 1 selected. Select these things. All right, so you were thinking that...
To the left.
Yeah,
To the left.
Actually, hold on. Let me make sure I'm in Era 2. Hide Era 1.
I feel like Brandon's getting stage fright.
What? No, I'm just copying everything.
But see, as I was saying, like even swapping between eras is like a pain in the ass, right? So like,
Yeah.
Wait, what are you doing?
What are
Don't
you
put
doing
it there.
here? Yeah, I don't know what you're doing.
Where did you want?
To the left.
That's definitely not.
Oh, to the left. Jesus.
Yeah, so it's a wall climb.
Gotcha. It's like a chimney wall climb type.
Yeah.
I told you, stage fright. He's
Yeah, just add 4 boxes on top of the wall that exists now, and then move the mouse over 2 spaces. No, up. Add 4 up.
The wrong thing was selected. A little eraser was selected. All right. Yeah. And so we're talking something like this, right? And then making this go up, right?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, okay. But just keep that wall the same size. This is what I was to like go over and click between terrains, make sure it's the same. As I was saying, like the current workflow be actually a nightmare for doing any sort of complex anything.
Cool. And I'll save them both.
You know, one thing you might do for the time being is like have the different eras being in different colors, like different textures, and then you can have them both visible and build on top of each other.
Yeah.
Because the reason you have to keep hiding that first one is because it's the same color, so you can't tell which is which, right?
Yeah. What the heck? Where's this guy? So I just created a new wall grab zone, but where is it? So I'm going to put this in Air 2.
Yeah. Also, there's this organization is so offline. You should figure out how you want to organize this stuff. Because I would almost say like each section of your map should be organized together or whatever, right? Or something. Just figure out how you want to do that. Because, like I said, these maps are going to get really big. So if you just have a linear folder structure, essentially, or a single depth level of your object tree, like it's going to become a nightmare, right? Because like Era 2 and Era 1 are essentially the levels, and then you're going to want to be able to quickly go between the different sections and things. The way I would think about it, and this is kind of how you had to do it in older games, is you would have levels within levels, and sections of a level. Now you just do one big level and the engine takes care of it, but you used to have to do like levels and then tunnel to load new levels and all of that. But and actually, there might be a good way to do that in Godot. I don't know. And can you have the wall grab zone only in Era 2?
Yeah, that's what I was messing around with. So I'm thinking, yeah, why is this? So it is an Air 2, but this wall grab zone is global, which is, I mean, I'll clean that up later, but okay, so maybe it needs to be a child of terrain 1, or of this terrain right here. So then it won't be in all the other terrain that we have. So let's see. I think that'll work. Talk to Air 1. Nope.
Do you have to restart it? I don't really know or trust Godot hot reloads, to be honest. And generally, if you're changing object trees and stuff, that's not hot reloadable anyways. Usually it's only like parameters and stuff that are hot reloadable.
Yeah.
It's not like you can just add a brand new blueprint to Unreal and it just magically takes effect while it's running.
Yeah.
That'd be sweet though if it did.
It would be sweet.
Hey, we jumped off the world.
When you die, it take you back to the default era.
Oh yeah, that's a good call. All right, let's see if I can time it. I didn't put a platform up there, so the jump is harder. Oh my god. All right, let's add that platform real quick.
I mean, honestly, that's a good test that our jumping mechanics are still not right.
Oh yeah, because when we're at the top of the jump, like we can't move, so I can add that.
No, I wouldn't worry about it right now. I would just add it to your to-do. Like, for a good platformer, especially exploration, you would want to be able to like control your descent and somehow and land on the top of that.
Yeah, maybe we need like a wall grab or something, or
you probably need in-air mechanics, right? Like you need to be able to like press backwards and slow your horizontal velocity and stuff like that. I would have to look at how games I really like do it, but like most games don't just launch you in a direction and you have no control in the air, right?
Yeah,
even
like, you have like some sort of helicopter control.
Yeah, even like Tony Hawk Pro Skater, right? Like you can do whatever you want in the air and go the direction you want. But imagine if like when you launched off a ramp, you just couldn't do anything in the air.
Yeah, and even like golf games, like Tiger Woods, right? Yeah. You could move the ball when it was flying. I'll be right back, guys. I got to use the restroom.
All right, that looks okay.
I did go back and play Tony Hawk Pro Skater quite a bit when they re-released it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they remastered 1 and 2. It's a good time. It's my childhood right there.
Yeah.
Remember, I babysat my cousins one time, and they were not babies, so maybe babysat's the wrong term, but I got there at like 8 a.m. and by the time their parents got home, we did a full playthrough of Tony Hawk 1.
Oh my god.
And they just wanted to watch me play because they were like, I don't know, like 8 or 9 at the time.
I mean, that was a very fun game. I remember playing that on PlayStation 1. What is up with that? All right. I'm going to add a wall jump bug to my list too. All right, so then let's add something up here so we know that swapping between eras isn't just or that you should swap to the previous era. So era 1 terrain. And just add something lower.
Yeah, I think that's actually a good question as we start designing these levels is what even what is good level design for these sort of things, and probably requires some amount of research and
Yeah.
And actually, so it does feel, I was asking this question earlier, but it does feel like you guys are trying to create the first level here because you're not working on mechanics or anything. You're just level building.
Yeah. Just making sure we can make things like flow together. So I think we do have our mechanics pretty much complete except for the air swap. So we have our dash, jump dash, wall slide, obviously with a bug in our jumping up through the chimney. And then we just added the double jump. And I believe that feels good to me on the keyboard. Like I couldn't imagine adding another button unless it was, I don't know, some other thing maybe on the right hand. But
yeah, and like I said, I just think it just feels like we're designing levels now, but which is fine.
yeah.
Just wanted to be sure. I mean, what I would do is I would if you feel like you're to that point, I would start like actually designing a level from scratch of how you want it. Like think about like do level 1, right? Like
Yeah. That sounds good. So we can create a new. Well, I mean, yeah, we can do level 1. I mean, I was gonna do something similar, but yeah, I mean, let's send Claude on a research case right now for what he thinks a good level 1 would look like right now. So I'm just going to say, like, we have our sandbox in a good area where we've proven out a lot of our movement mechanics. And our air swap mechanic. Now we want to actually create our first level.
yeah, and how I would do this if it was me is like I wouldn't actually have it try to make the level. I would actually, this is where I was saying we need to put some better design hours into this offline, is I would go have it research what makes up a good first level. Like what sort of things you should expect so that we can learn from all the previous platformers before us. And then I would read that report and then I would come up with an opinion on what I want the game to be, right? Like Claude is not making this game. Like you guys are the designers of the game. So by saying like, hey, just go make a first level, this is where I think people run into issues with AI. This is the exact opposite way you should use AI. AI is extremely good at doing what you tell it to do. It is not extremely good at creative endeavors. And so, even when you're generating music or whatever, if you give it a bunch of parameters, it can do some interesting things. But as far as like doing the interesting things, it's just basically a random number generator. And so that's where, like, from a design philosophy perspective, like what you really care about is like you guys have some ideas of what you wanted in the first level, right? You wanted like an indicator to teach the swap and all of that. But like ultimately, like you guys decided on this game type because you had like a vision for what you wanted it to be, and that's what the level design is, right? Now you get it's like drawing a painting, really, right? And
yeah, exactly. That was the goal of that prompt, was to not tell it to create me a new level. It was to start the research just by giving it context into what we've completed, what we're happy with.
Yeah, you should never use Cloud Code for that. There is a /research now, so it can issue research jobs, so you can do it, but you should you should all Claude will do in that reality is like Google like 2 things and then say, oh, this was the top Google result. Here, this is the word of God. Right. And so that's why you got to be really careful with AI. You got to understand what it's doing. And if all it's doing is returning the first Google response, that's not like great. Like that's not really that useful, right?
Yeah. So you're talking about the deep research right here?
Yeah. But I mean, I would use the Claude app.
Yeah. Oh, actually went into something.
I've never actually used this action, but yes, you need to do something like this.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good time. Like, let's test it out.
Yeah. So yeah, does the fan out web searches, fetches sources, adversarially verify claims, which is nice. So that's pretty nice. So I mean, in our game developer doc, what's up?
Oh, I was just saying, like, you just don't want blog posts or one blog post, right? Keep going. Keep going.
Oh, yeah. So I mean, in our doc that we created for Rift Runners a while ago, we had a couple game references in there in our game design that we created, and so I think I'll use that as an example in here too for the research. And do you think it's worthwhile to just give it context into what we've created? Because like Cloud Code is hooked up to the code right now. It can kind of look at like what we've created, what mechanics we like.
It can look at it. I think that would be the one advantage of running it in Claude Code. I would assume it can look at it. I haven't done it, but if it can't run at it, what in the world?
Yeah, so I'll ask it to look at it. Yeah, I mean it'll automatically look at it, but and I'm trying to use terminology that's in Godot right now for a different node. So we have our player node, and then it's called the state node, or then a list of states in that node too. For like jump, dash, slide dash. So we've also proven out our error swapping mechanic. All right, so would this be a good time to utilize our game design doc too, to put in the pillars? Like what's the most important stuff to us?
I mean, you can say here's, if it's in the code base, just add it and say here's our game design doc. And
let's see if it is in the code base. Docs design. I don't think so. I think we just have these 2 things, but I can add it in there.
I didn't realize I hadn't put myself back on stream.
What's up, Tony?
Well, it's been a little bit since I've plugged the Discord. So for those of you watching or listening after we've published this, if you haven't joined our Discord, do so, and you can win prizes like $50 Steam gift cards for participating in art and prototyping contests. We've got one running right now. You can also join us on Fridays at noon Pacific for office hours, where we get together and work on stuff together, kind of like this, and answer questions that customers have, and just hang out. So if you have any questions or you want to just hang out, feel free to join us in the Discord. Again, that's discord.gg/Makko, Makko. Brandon has file explorers on the screen.
I know, right? Just trying to create a markdown file. And I just did it manually, where I'm just gonna copy paste our game design doc that we created a couple weeks ago for Rift runners. So now Claude Code should have a reference of it. So now it has access to our 4 pillars that we want to maintain and just everything else there. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, our core pillars and references. References of game types that we like. Rift runners. So now, give us some ideas for how to design our first level for Rift runners.
So you're having to go do deep research.
So what we talked about is. I asked this early in the stream, and I feel like I got the opposite answer of what is the case. Is I was asking, like, should this be in the sandbox, or are we making level 1? Like, what are we doing? And the answer was, oh, we're still in the sandbox, but it really feels like we're just hand designing levels now. So I was saying, okay, why don't we just start with level 1 and actually start making our levels, because like all the stuff we're making right now is not reusable necessarily. You're just
yeah.
So, and since it's a handcrafted thing, we should make a level that when it's done, it's done, right? And then we don't just keep repeating the same process over and over again. So then I was saying, like, we need to do some game design research to make sure we understand like what makes a good level 1, like the tutorial aspect of it, etc.
The kitty's excited for this game design.
Yeah, so this research is so what we can do to design this level. I mean, what else do we want to like prompt it with, where like it has our game design doc right now, and like we're really just looking for ideas.
I think we want to tell it we want like ideas for platform layout, hazard placement. Like, I think we want to give a little direction there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm rereading the message. There's a lot of like extra fluffy words in here that don't really matter, right? Like, oh, we want to have handcrafted level using Godot tools. You know, shit, we're in Godot. Like, you don't need to tell it that. Also, that's not what we wanted to research, right? Like, what we wanted it to research was like good design practices for like intro levels into platformers. Mm-hmm. And that should be crystal clear in the prompt, right? Like, you shouldn't read your prompt and go, oh, what is the actual request we're having? It should just be crystal clear, like what you want it to do. And it's not really, we're not looking for ideas, right? We were looking for, like, there's a bunch of like research and give us ideas and give us, it's like, no, research and give us a report on, like, it's much more deterministic than that. We want to research and give us a report on good game design aspects for level 1 intro levels to teach players games. Right. Yeah. Like, so we just need to be crystal clear on that, because like if you're not crystal clear, the AI will It like based on how that prompt was, it probably was going to go research how to build stuff in Godot, right? Just as an example, because that's what you asked it for.
Yeah, that makes sense. This report. Yeah, so platform placement, when to introduce a user to software system, how hard should the platforms be in the beginning, and how should difficulty scale as the level goes on.
And then you're probably good, and then just say, and anything else we're not thinking about. Because it sounds like what you're doing. So what you're doing right now is you're scoping it down to what you want the report on, which means it's not gonna tell you anything outside the bounds of that. So this is why like prompting really matters. Like it's funny because we just did some investor pitches and stuff, and it's like they're like our clarity is bad, but we should be good at clarity because I spend all day talking to AI, and if it's not if it's not clear, you don't get good results, right? And so if you say only research these 3 things, that's what it's going to research, right? But that's not actually the goal of a deep research. The goal of a deep research is to let it kind of explore and come back with what it thinks it needs, right?
Yeah, and so now with us giving those specific examples, it should come back with those specific examples and anything else too, and research those things that you're talking about.
Yeah, and hopefully if that stuff doesn't really matter, it'll just go, it doesn't matter, right? And that's like you're basically leading the research by saying, oh, I think these are the only things that matter. But that defeats the entire purpose of the research. The entire point of the research is to go find the things that matter.
Yeah.
And this is why also my computer is randomly opening Task Manager and other fucking things. I'm like, should I be concerned?
Yesterday it muted you too, right?
Yesterday?
Or messed up your
headphones.
headphones.
Yeah, my computer. Yeah, well, no, that was Google. It just randomly changed the input device.
Gotcha.
But yeah, this is also though why people get radically different results on using the same AI is because you definitely want to be very clear. You don't want to lead like in a research task, you almost never want to lead it in a very specific way. You just want to categorize what you're looking for.
Yeah, and that way, can just go through the categories. Yep.
Very annoying. I have this start bar. I'll just upgrade. I have this like paid start bar app for Windows because Windows 11 start bar is like absolutely fucking atrocious. And they did a V2 and it's like super annoying because it's like it's the same start bar. They just decide. I think it's my start bar because every time I click on the start bar, it's doing something weird. So I was like, okay, I'll upgrade it. I'm not sharing my screen, and I'm about to type in my credit card number. That would be fun.
Yep.
Cancel that card.
Doxing yourself. Yeah.
But yeah, one of our advisors, we were out drinking, and it was really funny because I was like, well, technically, and he goes, well, you're the most technically person alive. So
you're Mr. Technical. You are the technical.
And great. That is true. I could not contest that. I was like, touche. But I mean, for AI, that's actually really good. Like you want to be very clear and precise, and that's also why I'm not convinced. Like a lot of people are like, anybody can vibe code any app, and while that is true, it's you're going to have wildly different degrees of quality just based on like the ability to explicitly tell the AI what you want. And actually, there's a thing now where one of the biggest people being hit with AI coding is small contracting houses, or like where basically they already needed to be told exactly what to do. Well, it's the same thing, right? If you need to be told exactly what to do,
You're basically an AI.
you're basically an AI that's way more expensive. So it's kind of an interesting irony there. And so like you want to be the person that's really good at telling the computer exactly what you want. You don't want to be the person that needs to be told exactly what to do. So, and that's actually always been true. It's just we didn't have AI before, so there was a place in the workplace or economy, whatever, for people that were told exactly what to do. I think that's really what's disappearing in the modern AI world, is like AI is just so good at doing exactly what you tell it to. I've made this comment several times of like I don't need someone to type to the AI. Even if you've watched a stream any amount of time, you'll see me correcting Brandon or whatnot on prompting of like, hey, you're not really asking for the right thing. That's not what we talked about. So like that's what happens if I were to ask someone else to talk to the AI on my behalf, which I think is really good learning for the stream. But when it comes to everyday life, why would I ever do that? Why would I like take it a step farther? Like, let's say Makko blows up and we actually can pay ourselves and we start paying people. That's the dream, right? Why would I pay someone to just chat with the AI on my behalf? Right? Like, that's not what I would ever pay someone for. What I would pay someone for is to think at a higher level than the AI and then do the work with the AI, and then also make those decisions and not be the person that needs to be told directly what to do. So I think that's good advice for everybody going into the future of the world. It's always been advice out there. That's how you move up to senior level roles at any company in any field, honestly. It definitely applies in the technical field, but like you don't move up to any management role, even at McDonald's, if you can't make decisions by yourself, right? Like your cashier is the cashier. You're showing up when your manager tells you, you're leaving, you're closing, you're doing the floors, whatever, exactly when your manager tells you. That person is not going to move up to management because they can't like decide anything themselves. So, people that move up to management, even at like McDonald's, it's more proactive. You see things not being done. And that's the most simple example I can think of there, but it applies pretty much everywhere. And everybody is looking for people to delegate to, because the simple reality is one person cannot do it all, even with AI. To my begrudging opinion, and that's not the correct way to phrase that, but I wish I could do it all, but everybody cannot do it all. And so that's why you look for people that can, like, I'm looking for people that can like literally just take a big thing, right, and do it. And AI makes it much easier for a single person to go do a big thing and do it. But I personally cannot do 25 big things and do it, even with AI. Sorry, side rant, side quest there.
No, I think that's good perspective too, because like engineers have a set of skills, right? Design patterns, everything. So you can utilize that to create a system. And it's like, how do you work with AI to tell it how to create that system? You have that higher knowledge of that system too.
Yep. And everybody's brains work differently. And so in the past, what's happened, this is a good segue into like technical implementation and technical frameworks. In the past, what has happened is you basically have to conform your thinking to whatever the industry says is best. And there's a lot of lessons and things in the industry you should learn from. But the beauty of AI is now you can go create your own workflows. And AI is going to be able to adapt to you pretty well. The one thing it's not going to be able to adapt to quite yet is reading your mind. Sure you guys have heard me say that a lot. And so,
but soon they're getting those things that you put all the nodes on your head in a beanie, and it reads your mind.
Yeah.
We're like almost
so
there.
At the incubator we were at, one of the companies that one of the investors invested in was literally that, is a beanie with a bunch of nodes to read your mind. So, like no cap, right? Like for real, like that's an actual company. So, some fun things going on there, but
That's
yeah,
cool.
I mean, creating the point was though, sorry, create your own frameworks that make sense for you. Don't try to just do what other people say, because you want to lean into your strengths and you want to lean into what works for you. And in the past, it's not been possible. Now you can. Like I've talked about briefly in previous streams, my app I made ArcForge to drive my AI workflows. I have no interest in productizing it. One, because a bunch of support and whatnot, but two, because it's literally catered to how my brain works and interacts with AI. So like, I don't want other people coming in going, oh, I want this feature, this feature, this feature, this feature, because I don't care about it. So it's a waste of my time, right? And maybe that's not the very business-minded aspect there, but like I'm spending all my time on Makko, not on ArcForge. ArcForge is there to help me do better on Makko. So, and it doesn't mean other people don't have good ideas. It just means like I just want it to work exactly how my brain comprehends it, right? All right. Oh, we're still in deep research. You just testing the level.
Yeah, just mess around with the level. So what I did here is you can type workflows here, all caps, I guess, and you can kind of see what the deep research mode is doing. And so it's already scoped it. It took it has, I believe these are just 5 different agents that it's sending out for different searches that it wants to do for the research. And it already fetched everything, and now it's just verifying. And so you can see here, it has a bunch of different versions. It's looking through the different games that are in our game design doc. So that was Tunic. I don't know if it was Half-Life.
I feel like maybe you want to use Sonnet next time. This is a lot of tokens real fast.
What did you use?
Opus. I mean, I don't know how billing for this stuff works, but I don't know how it works in the web interface first in Claude Code.
Let's see.
I think the web interface charges you per deep research session. This looks like it's running off your machine, so it may be actually charging you per usage, right? Because this looks like this is an actual workflow on your machine running.
Yeah, and does look like my usage is going up. I'm checking it off screen. But yeah, my current session usage is going up. It's at 35% right now.
Yeah, so, and you haven't done much this morning, right? So,
right.
So yeah, be careful. Use Sonnet. I don't know. You realistically probably don't need Opus for a deep research, right? Like all you're doing, you're not like solving anything. You're just synthesizing data. So,
right.
Definitely under no circumstances use Fable for that.
No.
For research?
I would have been out of tokens already.
Yeah, you ask Fable. You look in Fable's direction and you run out of tokens, so
That's pretty good.
You know it's true too. Everybody knows it's true. I've not used GPT seriously for coding, and I'm using a lot of GPT now. 5.6 is pretty good, and which we're trying to figure out a way to get an economical way to add GPT to our service too, because 5.6 is not Sol probably because it's still pretty expensive, but the Terra would be Earth. You got the Sun, Earth, and Moon. Is that the GPT 5.6 models?
Yeah. Luna, Terra, Sol.
Yeah, why is the Moon under the Earth? I guess size of planets or size of space
Celestial
objects.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah. Point is, Terra is actually dramatically better than Sonnet. And we still have Sonnet 4.6 because Sonnet 5 was very controversial, let's say. A lot of people believed it was worse. It's more expensive to run because it uses like 2 to 3x the tokens Sonnet 4.6 uses. Terra actually is pretty efficient on tokens, and it's dramatically smarter than Sonnet. So I do not get money for promoting. I was gonna up. This is a good time to talk about it. I was gonna update people on the AI drama. One thing that's kind of unless you're an enthusiast, kind of very exhausting to keep up with is all the new model releases, the drama that Anthropic or OpenAI or whatever they're doing. Google is just, I don't know if they gave up or what, but Gemini is just complete trash compared to all the new models. I don't know what the heck they're doing. But there's been the Fable fiascos. Fable's back for like a week, and so I have the $200 plan, and on Opus I've like almost never run out of limits, and I'll be coding 12 to 16 hours a day sometimes. Fable, I was out in 30 minutes. I was like, Jesus, this is so terrible. Like,
that's wild.
It's just so bad. And so I went and got the $100 GPT plan. So now I have $200 and $100 plan, and I have not hit the limits yet on that plan. Using it just as much. Now I do go back and forth. Like, I have Fable do code reviews, or review designs, and some things I still prefer Fable on, like design, like UX design. Fable's slightly better at like actual architectural design, that sort of thing. So I will use it for some of that, but yeah, even just doing, just code reviews and things, I hit like 70% of my usage yesterday. It's just, I don't know what Anthropic's doing. I saw OpenAI was up to 8 million. GPT 5.6 was hitting capacity last night. So it's just like OpenAI is eating right now, but I don't know about Anthropic, and the word on the street, it just all seems like such a, scam's not the right word, but such a fiasco. I think they just rushed out their, because Fable is a very, very large model. I think it's like I think it's significantly larger than GPT 5.6. And so it is technically smarter, no matter what the benchmarks say. It has a better worldview, etc. But it's dramatically more expensive to run. And so I don't think Anthropic ever actually wanted to release it to the public. I personally believe the Fable ban was like orchestrated so they could say like, hey, it's not us, it's not our fault, yada, yada, yada. Because now there's rumors that Opus 5 is releasing next week. And if that actually happens, they just needed something because they knew GPT 5.6 was coming, right? It's all just like corporate BS, really. It's like they weren't ready for Opus 5, but 5.6 was coming, so they had to compete. So what do we do? Because they've had Fable and Mythos for like 3 months now, right? Like that's an old model that they've been running internally. It's just insanely expensive to run. So
which one do you think they're going to put in the cyborgs?
Definitely not Fable. Each cyborg, like, we talked about like power consumption of these GPU stacks and things. Like it's crazy, right? Because like you probably need a 5 million. I actually don't know how many GPUs you need, but let's say you need a $2 to $3 million machine to run Mythos. You definitely cannot run it on one of those $500,000 B300 stacks, right? Or B200. I don't know if B300s are out yet. You probably need like 24 B200s to run Mythos, which is an ungodly amount of power draw, right? And so like, yeah, we're gonna have cyborgs running that shit. No, absolutely not.
They're each gonna have their own little nuclear backpack.
Yeah, you would need it. Most likely there are all these tiny, there's models that run on your phones, which is scary, right? You're gonna put these like shitty models and these robotic creatures, and they're basically
that's actually a Black Mirror episode.
Yeah. Oh, when first time they kill someone, it's going to be like, oh, I didn't realize this was real life or some shit, right? Like it's because you're gonna have your rules, but as long as let's assume you ran a robot off LLMs in that way, you'd have your rules of like you can't hurt a human, and then the model would probably just convince itself it wasn't a human, right?
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, I can kill them. I mean, I hope we do not get to that. I know the Department of Defense and Palantir.
Peloton.
Man, I hate those companies are named the same thing. To be completely honest, I thought the treadmill company was somehow the defense company for a long time, and
That's awesome.
and I just never made sense. I was like, man, that is a crazy pivot. They went from freaking running on treadmills to creating like War Machine. This is crazy.
Oh, it's funny.
Well,
all right, I'll just come back. We good?
Is incredibly fit.
Yeah. So it has a couple headlines here before like we can open up this markdown file and take a look at the entire research, but it likes our pattern here. So one pattern runs the whole level. So we get the anti-piece pressure, then combine it. So I guess like that's what we would think about when we're designing this first level. And we had an open question about when does the swap appear? And so it does like the idea that we had earlier where it's 30 seconds fail-proof movement, and then you go into the swap area to kind of introduce that. Yeah, difficulty is kind of what we were talking about, where it's a hook, then like a hazard, then rest, then hazard. Not really like a monolithic thing at all, more of a fun thing. It did refute the claim that I guess that we had some documentation in our code base that said that we didn't want to have the press tab button always visible, but because it could break immersion, but it's actually finding that we can just always have something there to indicate that you should swap eras or that you can swap eras with a button press. And then I was just reading through the gaps that it found here. And so let's see, teaching two co-equal channels in balance and not in source covers redundant signals. So it's telling us to watch for one era to see if it will dominate over another era. And then how quiet can we go before the trained player still catches it? So that's like a play test type of thing that we should investigate once we have the level completed or level near completion. Cool. Can I just open in Godot? Open in here. What the heck? Okay, so this is a lot of reading that let's get this out of here. There we go. Make it look better. Bring it in there. There we go. Yeah, so this is the report that it came up with. We can read through this later, but has a TLDR, which is teach through play, not text, which is great. I think that aligns with a lot of what we were saying in our game design.
Yeah. So now I do think it's useful to read this later on stream. Yep. That's pretty boring. But now, now you can go back to Claude. Now it has a baseline, and I would clear context and just add this file. And now you have a baseline of like deep-rooted research. And by the way, this is sort of the process services by you is they're going to have an opinion on these things and research and color the AI in a certain direction. That's kind of like what a lot of AI companies are really doing. They're providing an opinion on things. But the point is that like now that you have like a deep rooted thing, you can go ask Claude and say like, hey, analyze everything we have in all our mechanics and then propose a first level intro based on what we have, right?
Yeah.
but you only want to do that not based on no. Go back. What are you doing? Just say at.
Oops. Went too far back.
Do you not know you can at files?
At? Oh, yeah.
Intro dash level.
Yeah, dash level.
Here, sometimes the things you do make me cry a little bit. like when if you copy the title like that, it still has to like
Let's go find it. Yeah. So
yeah, it has. It's like what if you had multiple things called intro level design? Also, that was the title. You copied the title of the markdown, not the actual file name. So like, how is it going to know? This is an important segue, actually, or not segue, a side quest. How does the AI know the file you're talking about is the file? This is the best way. Tell it what file it is. But if you like copy content from the file, it's really a simple question. How does it know that content applies to that file? Well, it's gonna look at your file tree and go, oh, that doesn't match anything. So what's it gonna do next? Then it's gonna search all files in your file tree. And then hopefully it only matches that one file, right? But if it doesn't match that one file and it matches multiple files, then it's gonna have to make a discernment. But that's all work it has to do. And then it's all, so you're wasting context and you're wasting tokens. But more than that, you're dirtying your context with just the exploration. So you should always, always, always just tell it what it, like there's, especially in this scenario, there's no reason not to you just copied the file, right? There's no reason not to just add it. Now you can just say at and then hit shift enter or whatever and tell it the prompt. You don't even need, like, this is the beautiful thing is you don't even need to work it in perfectly to your prompt. It just needs to be there. So.
Yep. Yeah, for sure. And, you know, if you have Fable going, it saves you $25 just to find this file.
That's true.
Yeah. All right. So we have our design right here. And so we can, I mean, it will have the context of this already because we added it. So we have, I'm just going to tell it to use the research, give us a like a base first level that we can manipulate.
Yep, that seems good. So type it out and copy it. You might use Fable for this. Fable has a lot better worldview. So since it's creating, this might actually be a perfect scenario to swap over to Fable. Mm-hmm. Control C.
That usually works. For some reason, it wasn't working for me, but yeah, I mean, I just did a line delete. All right, so use this research, give us something that we can manipulate later. I also want to tell it to add it to the bounty board. That we can manipulate later or remove all that. Just say, use this research to create a first intro level, not give us. Yeah. You don't need to say manipulate later. That's all just unnecessary wording to dirty the context, right? Like we want to be very explicit. All we're doing is create the first intro level and then add it to the bounty board. And it to the bounty board. Oh, add it. I thought it said and it. But yeah, like you used to, back in the day, you needed like hacks and things in your prompt engineering. You don't really need that. You just need to be really good at explicitly saying what you want. I'm going to keep saying that over and over and over again because a lot of people, so Brandon was a manager at Amazon in his remaining tenure, so he likes to add fluffy words and fluff things up. Don't do that with AI. You get zero value from fluffing up AI. Yeah, I just want concise prompts. And
yeah, concise is in modern LLMs. Concise is always better. Now, if there is context it needs to make a better decision, that's fine. But saying make a level where we will manipulate later, for example, well, no shit, we're going to manipulate it later. We're writing code, right? Like that doesn't like think about it this way. And that one is, probably wouldn't hurt it. It would probably, the AI would go, yeah, okay, and move on. But like think about it this way, like what context is going to get a better result or in the direction we want, right? Like if context is just extra and it's just extra words, it may or may not hurt it. That's the problem, is you don't actually know how extra words will impact its decision. But the guiding rule is just like what data would I need to make a better decision? So if I was giving an engineer a task, I wouldn't say, hey, go make this level in Godot. Oh, by the way, we're going to want to iterate on that level. I would never in a million years say that, right? Like that's crazy, right? Like, well, of course, we're going to play test. We're going to do all this stuff. The AIs know that stuff, right? Like they know that when you're building a game, there's play testing, there's all these things that come later. Also, remember, it's trained on human data. Find me an example of a game engine where you can't like manipulate the level. Sorry, we're diving into that specific phrase. It probably wouldn't have hurt it, but just to show. Now, very intentionally, the second thing you added to the bounty board is very important because it may or may not have added it to the bounty board. It may have gone, oh, all our levels are in the bounty board, so it needs to be in the bounty board to actually get to the level. But now you're relying on the AI to like somehow do that. And this goes back to our example before. If you were using a contract studio and you said, hey, go make the first level, they're going to quote you on what you asked them to do. And they may or may not in the scope meetings go, hey, do we need to do it here or here? Or like, what do we need to do? And you may expand the scope or do whatever. But you're paying them, for very specific tasks that you've scoped. So like they're going to do exactly your scope. So this once again is like if you're not good at saying what you want, in a way, product managers and project managers should be the best at AI, right? Because that's their entire jobs. But this is where like AI is fun because you do need technical expertise sometimes because you need to tell it technical guidance, not just in this scenario, it's added to the bounty board. But what if we were trying to do some special render shader or something, like some shader that was doing some fancy effect? Just even knowing how to describe that would be really cool. Or, say you implement a shader and its performance is terrible. Being able to read through it and go, oh, I think we have 5 extra calculations here. I don't think we actually need these color changes. I think you can just jump from A to B or A to D instead of going A, B, and C. Right. So sometimes that works really well. And like your big new models like Fable may sometimes just also handle that. And now here's actually a question too. Sorry, I just noticed you didn't say use the MCP to create it. This will be a good question to see if it automatically detects the MCP and uses it.
Yeah.
You might even just do it now so it gets injected in the next update. And you might just say, be sure to use the whatever. Yeah, be sure to use the Godot MCP.
Yeah.
And then you can just queue it up and it'll. Yeah, because what did it just do?
It was grepping for what, in the wall grab zone? That's weird. Yeah, I think that that is some really, really good information for prompting how people think about prompts too, because like even just using Godot here, if you're able to give the AI different context into the nodes and the scenes that you're in, it's just like adding at the file too, where it won't spend as much tokens and it won't ruin your context as much because it'll know where that context is and know where that node is to go dive deep into there, update the script file for that to do whatever you want, if that's animation, shader, logic, whatever.
Tony, what are you up to over there?
I was looking at the sector scavengers simulation output. I was telling it to make it less likely that I would survive with dumb decisions.
Nice. Doing a little tuning.
Little knob turning.
Little knob turning.
Tweak, tweak, tweak.
Cool. So it looks like for Rift runners, it is going to do some research before messing around with the geometry.
I wonder what it means by that. What does it mean by authoring the geometry?
It's got to be in the tile editor.
You think so?
The different tiles, yeah. Because it's looking into the wall jump dimensions and like what we like in our sandbox.
Interesting.
Yeah, these are good experiments too, because like so as we start building the Godot compatible layer in the website and then moving to our own chassis to wrap Godot, these are the sort of things, right? Like we will build tooling around this. So it's like, oh, I need to write geometry or something. So we would provide a tool to let the AI just very easily make geometry. And then the tool would translate it to, Godot. And that's where like some of these game engines, rightfully so, are not designed AI first. They're designed, in the traditional world. And they may or may not catch up. We'll see. That's yet to be seen. I mean, Unreal and Unity are trying to do things, and Unreal claims that the AI can create full scenes, and everybody that's experimenting with it is like, this is absolute trash. So, and I assume they're going to keep getting better, right? Epic has unlimited money, so I assume it'll keep getting better. But it's still one of those things where I don't think it's a simple MCP that handles some of this. I think some of it you need real translation and real understanding.
We were talking about this. We were talking about this earlier, right? Like the even just the ability to consume customer feedback and move quickly as a function of like not having as many giant, huge, high profile customers is an asset for us here, because we can go make pretty dramatic changes and figure out, do we want to integrate Godot? Do we want to go try another engine without impacting like, thousands and thousands of paying customers? Of course we want to be there as quickly as possible, but maintaining that agility, I think, is going to be super important for us over the next little bit.
Yep. And nobody really knows on AI like what's going to win. So everybody is slowly getting an opinion of that, and there's current market leaders and all this stuff. But right, like Lovable raised $100 million and it's a vibe code website. But now we have Claude Code and all these other things. And so like, is Lovable going to win in the long run? I have a real hard time believing they will. Because there's going to be 1,000 copycats. Replit did more infrastructure, but once again, it's like fundamentally a vibe code website. And so there's like, that's one opinion. We had Cursor, but now we have all the CLIs. It's just like, when a lot of these businesses got created, the CLIs didn't even exist, and now they exist. And so now in gaming is like behind the rest of the industry. But even just like using Claude Code, like at our incubator we're in, we get this one guy that's like, I had to laugh because he's like, oh, our dev team did all this extra stuff like Vercel, and all I need is Supabase edge functions. Well, from a tech perspective, Supabase edge functions are absolute trash and won't scale, and you should never ever use them. Vercel functions they're an extra thing. Yes, that's true, but they're dramatically better than Supabase edge functions. So it was really funny to me listening to a conversation like that, because like, someone that thinks they have it all figured out certainly don't have it all figured out. And there's a lot of reasons, if you're serverless, you go with Vercel over Supabase edge functions. And then once you go from not serverless, like when you start scaling, you don't even want serverless, right? You want actual servers. And right. And so that's what like a lovable or replet's supposed to solve for you, but they solve it very poorly. So it's anyways, it's there's a lot of directions, a lot of different things, and we'll see where the wind blows the industry.
And I think that's why, our tenet is we don't really we don't want we have opinions on where you should build stuff and how you should build stuff, but ultimately we want that to be your decision. And so we're building really intentionally in ways that like don't lock you into our platform, but make it such that like we hope that the product is such that you would have no reason to go to another one. But if you started a project somewhere else, or if you have a workflow that works for you, as Jeremy was saying earlier, and you really nailed it down, some sort of MCP Godot, wizardry, then we want you to be able to come to Makko and quickly prototype or quickly make art, and bring that with you over to Godot, and then eventually Unity and Unreal and all the other places as well. But everything that we do is designed with that tenet in mind.
Yeah, isn't our catchphrase "human in the loop" where they should be?
Where you want to be.
Where you want to be. That's right. Yeah, and so that is everything that you just talked about. Tools to enable the human to make great games and great art.
Yeah, I think it's slightly different. Human in the loop where you want to be is about you doing things. Tony was talking about ecosystem lock-in.
Yeah.
So I would not say those are exactly the same thing. Ecosystem lock-in. If you want to go to Epic, take our assets to Epic or Unreal or do any of that, more power to you. That's what we're talking about there. Less about like hand catering things or coding, or because like human in the loop where you want to be, examples of that are like you can edit the frames in our animations, and you can edit the code where we're not saying you can't edit the code. You can prompt it to do certain architectures. You can take, that's kind of human in the loop where you want to be versus just an AI assistant that hides everything from you.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Is just because people may actually, here's the simple reality. Unreal's like actual MCP and their AI integration with Unreal may get so good that literally nobody can compete with Unreal, right? Like let's say you can take Fable and their MCP or Fable 5 in 2 years, 3 years, whatever, and you can go, I guess it's technically Fable 5 now. I mean, the 5th version of Fable. And let's say you can take that to Unreal and just do really cool shit. But let's say they don't have like an asset generator. And let's say by then we have like perfect 3D, 2D asset generator, blah, 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 right? Like the idea would be for the ecosystem lock-in, it's not necessarily that they want to copy and paste to another platform or whatever, and eventually we'll have our own MCP server and all of that. But it's more that they can go to Unreal and use their AI tools in conjunction with ours.
Yeah, it's really like portability is the way I would describe it, right? Like we really want people to be able to take it with them and do whatever. It's your stuff, right? Assuming you're paying a subscription, it's your stuff. I actually don't even think that feature's live yet. I think if you're a free user, it's still your stuff right now, but it won't always be.
Nice. It's getting pretty close to completing this level.
Can you like open it while it's working and see what it's doing?
Yeah, I was trying to open this up. Is everything in the script right here? I mean, I can do this. Do we have it in the bounty board? I don't see it in the bounty board unless it's this. Nope, that's the old one.
Like you made a new bounty that you can click on. That is that new level.
It should be doing that, yeah. I think that... Yeah, I haven't seen it do anything with the bounty yet. So it's working on different platforms, different intro level scenes.
Yeah, so interestingly, it kind of looks like it's not using the MCP and just editing the files, which is interesting.
Explain the difference there.
So the idea with the MCP would be that it doesn't need to know the internals of the game engine. It doesn't need to know the formats of the game engine, et cetera, et cetera. So there's just like APIs like add to scene. Like think about how the human does it. The human's not going in and editing XML files. It's using the UI. So the MCP is essentially the UI for the AI. But if you're not doing that, then what ends up happening is you have to go in and edit the code itself, which means you have to know how to edit the code. It's just a bunch of extra knowledge that the AI needs, which means it's more error prone.
I love demystifying things like the MCP, because in my mind, the MCP is just like my very caveman understanding is it's the way AI interacts with Godot, which I think is kind of what you just said, but there's a lot more depth and nuance to what that means.
Well, I mean, you can always read files and edit files, right? So that's not MCP. Right, like there's a bunch of files, the AI can access those files. A game engine is just a bunch of saved files under the hood of that it's loading, right? Like, so no, like that is not the only way it can interact with the engine. It can do whatever. The MCP is an attempt to hide common operations. So like there's two ways. So take this scene, for example. There's two ways to get information about this scene. One is just reading the scene file, which has all the scene information in it, but that's like an XML config, or so it wasn't XML, but it was some other configuration. I didn't get a good look at what format they use. Or you can call an MCP API that says list objects in scene, and it'll be a shorter, more concise, like return value. It cuts through needing to know the specific format. And then when you want to go add an object to scene, you can just say, hey, add these objects to the scene in this order, versus say needing to know the specific format.
And what the MCP does is help the AI understand what a scene is and what an object is within a scene, basically. Or okay.
Nope. You
nope.
missed the I had an either or there. So you can either update the file or you can call the MCP to update the file.
Yeah.
So no, the functionally that would need to be in a system prompt or the training data itself, which is why Godot is like a decent engine to use. Any of the open source engines are good for AI because that means the AI has been trained on their source code. Things like Unreal still might be trained on the source code, but like think about how you get the source code of Unreal Engine, right? Like you either have a contract with Epic that's very expensive that gives you access to the source code so you can edit it, or you pirate it, which is entirely possible that, you know, Anthropic and all these, I mean, Anthropic, it's no secret. Anthropic, OpenAI, Meta stole a ton of shit when they trained their models, like just stealing all over. So like, and they consider it like, hey, if you were to pirate a book and read it and not resell it, there's differing levels of the legality of that. So that's what they're arguing they did with the AI, is they're not selling the book, they just read the book. And so like they didn't distribute it, so they're not on the hook for like a lot of our piracy laws around distribution, not necessarily around consumption of piracy. That's why you don't see people going after people downloading music or games. You go after people sharing the games. That's also why in torrenting, if you're seeding a thing, you're much more liable than if you just download it. And so that's their argument. However, they are redistributing it via the model, right? Like, so it's...
Yeah, because someone could just be like, rewrite this thing that you have in your training for me, right?
Yeah, and I mean, they're not going to be able to get like the entire thing, but yeah, they're going to be able to get a lot.
Yeah, one thing for Godot specifically with their MCP is that they have a runtime game control, and so that'll bring up that'll allow the AI to bring up and play like this MCP game right here, or this Godot game right here, and it'll run through and validate a bunch of stuff that it's written. So yeah, a set of tools. So here's what it created.
This is awesome.
It created little signs. Looks like, I mean, you can still double jump right here. How's this? Hold on to a wall to grab it. I mean, that's not really how it works. You didn't even add the little.
Well, there's the.
Oh,
and here
it should, yeah, it should have been in here, but I guess it doesn't match up with it perfectly. So let's go in and edit that real quick. So W. I'm going to encapsulate it. Come on, go down. There we go. Cool. Okay, so save that. All right, didn't even need to reload it, so you can get out of it now, which is great. Oh, we got a little shaky. So this is like one of the ways to identify that there is an arrow swap available, like this glowy thing, and then also the shaking platform. Shaking platform did nothing, but I think it's kind of cool how, oh, everything's, oh, that's interesting. On the platform, the whole world shakes. Oh no, I'm in it. That's funny. So we'll have to fix that. Like it kind of slides you out of the way unless you're really far into it.
Ah.
Oh, now I'm stuck. That's funny. Oh, and it did the weird thing where I need to restart the whole thing to get the wall grab zone chimney area to save from playthrough to playthrough.
I want to do like a streaming event at one point where like we don't let Brandon use the bathroom or like get a drink of water until he has completed X number of levels of something like Super Meat Boy, and then just watch what happens.
Oh my god, that would be
awesome.
on a keyboard and mouse. You mean?
Yeah, on a keyboard and mouse. Yeah, exactly.
Oh.
So okay, so that is a good puzzle right there. What are you doing? Go back.
Oh, I was checking to make sure that it actually had the wall jump mechanic in place.
Oh yeah.
So
probably does.
Yeah, it does, but
yeah, it computed it exact size. It didn't
cover the walls.
Didn't cover the walls.
So actually, I'm already seeing how this is a interesting. So clearly, this is not like the design is not great, but there are some interesting things here. And one of the things that's like really interesting to me is like you could generate a bunch of, just have it generate a bunch of variations and then take the puzzles you do like from those variations and craft. Like you could have it, you could like queue it up to generate like 100 little mini puzzles, like just one little segment, and then just take the segments you like.
Yeah. I like that.
Like that was a good, that's actually your puzzle.
Yeah.
That's your first. That's your puzzle for shifting and double jumping all in one. I don't actually think you need separate ones, right? Yeah. You run through, you hit a wall, and it's like, you know, it's like press tab for shift or whatever.
Yeah, so you can't even get in there. So it's like telling you, yeah, and then you arrow swap. You can't solve it until you arrow swap back. Yep. Yeah, I like that one a lot too. I think that's really good. And then I like how it's naturally having you go back to arrow 1. And so you finish this puzzle in arrow 2, and then you're like, oh, I can't really make it through here. You might jump down here and find that it's an endless pit, but then you can air swap and just make it through. And then here
And
you're like, oh,
that probably should be a tenet for every puzzle. Is like,
yeah,
there must be something that forces you back to the previous era after you complete a puzzle or something.
yep, yeah. And so
I like
here
that.
it's having us end on an era 2 puzzle solve to then get to the final key. Level complete, hooray. Oh, and then it auto takes you back to the bounty board. Yeah, so I mean, this is kind of interesting, like a tutorial here. But I do think that this first puzzle here, this chimney is kind of worthless. It doesn't really teach you much because you have to actually fall into it. But this is very nice. Yeah, it's very simple for the first puzzle. It's like, hey, how do you progress?
Well, I mean, you could just delete the wall, the first 2 pixels, go back over, delete the first 2 or 3 boxes of that wall, and then makes them climb up to go forward.
Oh yeah, actually, I mean, we could just do that right now, right?
I know you could. You know what that is, Brandon?
What's that?
The power of the internet.
I thought you were gonna say collaboration.
Why is it the power of the internet?
Because you can do anything. It's the internet. You can delete those boxes if you want. You can put them back.
But that's not on the internet.
Well, we're showing it on the internet. He downloaded it from the internet. Shut up.
All right.
But what if I gave him floppy disks?
Then it would not be using the power of the internet. It would be using the power of Microsoft or Apple. You gotta delete one more box.
Also make the grab smaller so they can't grab the outside. Actually, I don't actually know how that works because you want them to grab it on one side but not the other.
Yeah.
Also, didn't you delete it in the wrong reality?
Sure did.
And you probably need to make them taller.
So what is reality?
Double jump.
Yeah.
But see how there's like a clearly different color, so you know.
So
even the AI was like needed to clearly identify.
Oh yeah, they are different colors here. So all right.
Why did you undo that?
Because it was the wrong color. Now it's the right color. Let me hit my little edit erase tool. Right click.
And I can't believe how bad their editing tools are.
We're gonna fix them. We're gonna fix them.
I'll go here. All right, then let me double check Air 2 to make sure I didn't mess that up.
It's always funny when Letta's like, this is easier to edit in Godot, and then he proceeds to do like some convoluted tool and like a shitty tool, and I'm like, well, that's debatable, but
I mean, he's been doing it for 5 years in the tool, so I think that's probably it's more. I'm intimately familiar with this thing, and so I know how to do it faster with the thing. Like for a long time, there were many people who were better with fax machines than they were email. Didn't mean the fax machine was better.
That is true. You double jump. Also, why do you have lines on the ones you made?
Because I copied the wrong ones, the wrong tiles.
Those are the tiles in the tile set in Godot have like a little thing like Excel to show you where the borders are, and so you have to click on the right one.
Yeah, and then with the lines here, with the tile map editor, it goes through the lines of the borders that you're talking about.
So and it's kind of confusing, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm just going to replace them. Oh, gosh. All right, there we go. All right, so they should be replaced. Oh, I got one more. Click, copy, paste. I think it was the one below it. Hooray, look at that. And we can do the same for down here, I believe, where I will copy this, paste it there.
So I just had an idea. I feel like you should just be able to draw this stuff on a piece of paper and have the AI build it.
Oh yeah, that would be really cool. So I'm just going through and making sure the tiles look a little bit better. All right. So should be good in both areas now. Save everything.
Yeah, and this is actually where AI, it's very untapped. When I said we don't know the future, right now we're going, how can we take exactly the interfaces we have today and make them work with AI? But like functionally, like why would you ever be designing this sort of thing um with these tools first, right? Like these would always be like a draw first type situation. Like draw, annotate, and then you want something to pick it up and make it good, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, and I think that speaks to like why the strength of using the open source tools as well, because we can really get in there and like take what we like, which is a lot. You know, we like a lot of this control that we've got here, and shed what we don't. Uh, which is like you were saying, the magic of AI. You're going to get to build productize ArcForge, but in the context of Godot and Mako, take the workflows that work for you and make them for a bunch of other people.
Yeah, I feel like there needs to be a hazard down here too. Just sorry to interrupt, but
No, yeah, yeah. You should put hazard down there when those boxes aren't there, or actually when they are. Sorry, just
What
like it should
are
always be down there. You're right. Yeah.
are these circle things to say like change?
arrow. Yeah, so that's what the so it took it pretty verbatim in our design doc, and we have tiles that shake to indicate that, and we have little glimmers to indicate to swap arrows.
I do not like the tile shake.
Right. Yeah. So we should think of like other environmental ways. I think we had a gust of wind.
Well, I think the tile shake can work. It just needs to be like subtler and not glitchy looking.
Yeah, it looks a little glitchy right now,
Like if it
especially when
just
you're on it.
yeah, if it just like moved every second and a half or 3 seconds, I think that would be better. Like a shake instead of a jitter.
Yeah.
I don't know. I kind of hate the visual indicators altogether.
Really?
Yeah. Like it's just
Yeah, I
telling
guess
you
you're right, 'cause
it's telling you exactly what to do. There's no thought or puzzle. Oh, I see this thing. Hit the world. Hit tab. Right? Every time you see it, you just hit tab.
Yeah. You're right.
Don't love it. Like if there's something that like may in a more complex puzzle where maybe you can't see the entire thing in one screen, then sure, maybe adding more subtle indicators might be useful. But
Or maybe it's like Donkey Kong where like if you suck, they show up. Like if you're standing in the same spot for a minute or you die like you like die like 3 times, it gives you the option to highlight or maybe we just get rid of them.
Yeah, we can get rid of them. Let's
get rid of them. Destroy.
Does delete work in Godot? Oh my gosh, I need to go over here. Right click delete.
Here's a
command backspace.
Go to Claude.
I mean, yeah, we can do that. So we can keep it within the same context, do you think?
Just say delete all the glimmers.
Yeah. But I will call them distorts because that's what they're called here, right? Distort first.
Sure.
And the shakes, yeah, delete all of the distort. What did they call the earthquake tiles? I don't know. Shaking tiles.
Yeah, I don't think you need to be super particular. It's in the same context. I also love how it's delete all and remove all. Like that's a different thing.
Oh, look at that.
Just delete all the distort nodes and shaking tiles.
Yep.
You really start to see how some people's brains work.
Yeah, because I'm like, just remove it. After we were talking for a half second. Yep. It actually has a scratch pad? What is this?
Is a scratch pad like just something you can take notes without feeding it to the AI?
Oh, probably.
Yeah, it's just where they're putting their temporary Python files.
Yep.
So what it used to do was essentially run one massive, whenever it would do stuff like this, it would just run one massive bash command with the entire Python file, but it was like really slow. So now it kind of looks like they are just creating temp files that so they can edit them versus rewriting them every time.
It might have been faster for me to use Godot.
Yeah, maybe. But you're going to have to fill in all the holes and everything. So hopefully it just, yep, filled the holes. And so you say it would have been faster, but
I'm
telling you
we weren't racing.
No, I'm telling you right now, after watching you use that map editor, it was not going to be faster to do it manually. No offense, but editor, adding 3 boxes took you like 5 minutes. And that only took like 2 minutes. It's just, we're just sitting there watching it. So you think it's a lot longer.
Oh, I filled in my puzzle.
It did fill in your puzzle.
So you're going to watch me fill it in again? Wait, it turned everything darker in Era 2? That is confusing. Oh. Interesting. Okay. Oops. All right, so we have Era 2, show my terrain. It is true. You have to click edit. What is this shortcut? D, and then erase is E. Let's do it here too. And then let's add. So hit E again. Go to our select with S.
I think you should have just left the boxes in Era 2.
Left the boxes? What do you mean?
So it locks you in and you have to wall jump out.
Oh, okay. That sounds good. We can do that.
You can just hit Control Z. It was the last one you added. See, like I said, it would have definitely taken you a lot longer to fill in all those.
Yeah.
And then, wait, so how does he get? Yeah, how does he get through now? Oh, because that's right, because it's in the other era.
Yeah, I think that is good.
Well, you need to make it taller.
Yeah, let's make it taller. Click. Oh my god. Now I gotta click on this little thing. So that was Era 1.
We should go have Brandon pair with someone that's very familiar with Godot and see if that person goes insane.
Be like, Leto, we just want you to watch Brandon do this for an hour. Be like that
God damn it.
That cooking show where the woman is like, oh, this is like English carbonara, and he's like, oh, if your mother had wheels, she'd be a bicycle.
You did it backwards.
I did do it backwards, so we want it open in here.
Honestly, here's what you go back to Claude. I'm gonna try this and explain the puzzle and just say the first wall jump puzzle should have a gap under, and you should have to walk through the gap and then wall jump up. Make sure the towers are taller. Oh, don't know what you're doing.
Well, I was seeing if there was anything.
Yep.
All right.
Don't think you need to do any of that.
No, not editing, just getting like some context for it. But yeah.
Yeah, I don't think you need to do any of that. It just built the levels. It knows what you're talking about.
Yeah, so it needs to have a way into it.
Yeah, a gap. So funny. He said needs to have a gap at the base. Yeah, in layer 1. Then it fills in era 2.
Fills in era 2. That's such weird
then it
thing.
fills in, comma, in era 2. If you want to be grammatically correct. Make the walls taller, so you must wall jump and can't double jump. You're funny.
Well, oh, there. I don't know.
Yeah, I see why it takes Brandon like 25 minutes to respond to IMs now. Just watching him text and it's like, there's a, like, yeah.
No, it's stage fright. I'm too nervous. Everyone's watching me type.
I'm locked in, waiting for you to screw up.
Yeah, that's
right.
Well, that's why like typing should be easier because just 2 sentences, right? So, and actually, this is a good example of like using AI. It's like it has the MCP and can do these things. So like if you're struggling like doing a lot of filling in the blanks and it's a simple edit, like just fucking tell AI to do it.
Yeah.
It's really not that big a deal. Like, I mean, yeah, maybe we're burning electricity doing it, but such is life, I guess. Not as much as I was just seeing one of the football domes in Atlanta. They were talking about electricity usage, and it's like running one game is like 50 homes for an entire month of electricity just to AC it for one game. It's like cool.
Wow. And then I'd imagine if that dome had actual grass, they'd spend more resources being able to move it out of the dome to naturally grow in light like another stadium has, and then use all the water to grow it.
Yeah, though I've read the motors on those grass moving things are like super efficient, low powered motors. So
one of them just creates an air pocket too, and it floats in and out, or floats on top of this air pocket to move.
I don't think that's the. I think the AC is the. Yeah, I mean, still might be a house for a day or something, but yeah. It's because I know like Safeco in Seattle, like those motors to move the roof off and on uses basically no power. So.
Yeah.
You can't fudge it with the AC though. AC is just there. Also, I can't imagine the water usage on a field you can move inside is super high. And my guess is they probably have like, since it's in a big tray, they probably just water it from the bottom.
That would be cool. Yeah.
Which would be hyper efficient, which would also get you deep roots for your grass. So.
That is very interesting. You think like a game like soccer where people are cutting back and forth on the grass would cause the grass to be stronger so they wouldn't slip because the roots are deeper into the ground? It seems like a benefit.
I was just thinking the grass survives better, so it's easier to patch and it grows back each week. But because if your grass isn't healthy, it won't recover each week. So, yeah, which is why they use turf, because it's a lot easier to maintain.
I've been seeing turf in people's yards too. I like the increased usage of it in areas that you can do it because it's easier to maintain, less water.
Do you need more water in Michigan, right? You don't have enough.
When I lived in Florida, it was crazy. It's a drought state where everyone's forced to have perfectly green grass.
I visited Arizona a few times, and it's like that as well. They have like a few, like they call them like greenways or green stations, but it's basically like places where the city like pours all of the water to make it green, and then everything around it is like dead. It's wild. It's like a it's very different than the Pacific Northwest for sure.
Oh wow.
There you go.
Yeah, can't jump up that.
Except it has it backwards. I think Era 1 is not the default. I think Era 2 is the default.
No, Era 1. Oh,
no, hide. Go hide Era 1 for me.
Display Era 2. Yeah, Era 1's default. So
Yeah.
I mean that was part of the tutorial, not necessarily the puzzle.
No, but the whole point is you're supposed to have to swap the Era to get it in, right? Or no?
Well,
Wait, go back to the play.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I guess it's just a wall jump.
Yeah, it's just a little puzzle. Not a puzzle, tutorial. Is the word. Yeah, so this is a tutorial for double jump, and then we have our tutorial for wall jump here.
Yeah, you don't even, I guess, need an era shift.
No.
Yeah, this is why I don't.
Here is our era shift tutorial.
This is why I don't love how we're building the era shifts, because like this puzzle has no different, like let's call it no difference between era 1 and era 2, but you have to duplicate and maintain them. I guess maybe if they're different tile sets and things eventually. I actually don't think I love the hot swap of eras either. I think it's it feels a little
I thought it felt good
spazzy.
here. Oh, yeah, the instant swap too, right? That's a little spazzy.
Well, just that you can like literally do it anytime. I also think is a little bit weird.
Yeah.
When I'm watching you play it, because like you could do it like mid jump, right?
Yep.
It just also introduces a ton of bugs. Like, I feel like probably better is something that like you were talking about visual indicators, build it into the mechanic itself. Is like, and add a bunch of fake ones everywhere where like there's like
a switch or something.
Yeah, there's certain portals or power locations or something that you can do it at. You still hit tab, and maybe it's not like a specific glimmer on the map or something. Maybe it's like a section or something, just like our jump zones. But like then you could do something interesting visually, like show like maybe there's a rift coming in, or maybe realities are merging, or some visually interesting thing that's not just a big glowing circle. And then
maybe the areas that you can time shift like have some amount of like that section that actually uses the era 2 art or texture, right? So like it has like 3 or 4 blocks that are surrounded by era 1, but they are the era 2 textures as an example. And then it wouldn't be like glowing. You'd have to like look at it and be like, oh, that looks weird. And then that would be the indicator that you should time swap. And then from the fiction, you could be like, oh yeah, it's like Jeremy said, the dimensions bleeding together.
Yep.
Yeah, and then you don't have to fix all these random bugs about like, oh, I can time shift mid jump and I can time shift in the middle of a pillar. Like that goes away.
Awesome. Yeah, I was just taking notes off screen for that because I think that's a really good idea. It's like, everything is kind of like instant right now. We can do it at any time. But if we had, that little section area similar to this wall grid zone chimney, let's say over here, and then we'd have a couple tiles here from era 2. Be like, oh, this is obviously a place where time is shifting in with each other. Maybe if we go to the other era, we can get past this puzzle.
And you can also, you'll want to do interesting things that don't make it so obvious. Like eventually, like maybe the graphic that's bleeding in is like a car. And so it looks like maybe you can jump on the car and jump up. And then they jump up and they realize they can't get in. And then they realize, oh shit, that car is from a different era. Just stuff like that. Like, because platformers that are like, let's put it this way, like we've done nothing interesting or different in the game so far. It's just basic platformer mechanics essentially. So like you start to ask the question, and we should always be asking the question, why would someone play this over any other platformer? And I think it's puzzle and exploration, but so far we've not done any interesting puzzles or explorations. So as we go, just be thinking of like, okay, what does exploration even mean? And then what are the puzzles that are interesting?
I will add that as a question I'll think about later today while I read the other documents too that we generated.
Well, we've got about 10 minutes left in the show here, guys. I'm going to do my obligatory Discord plug again. If you haven't joined the Discord yet, you can do so at discord.gg/Makko, M-A-K-K-O. We do all kinds of stuff in the Discord. We run weekly competitions, or not weekly, but we run competitions. You can come in and make some art or a prototype and share it with the community or on Reddit, and we will pick the winner every couple of weeks and give them a $50 Steam gift card. We also host office hours on Friday at noon Pacific time. So if you want to drop by and hang out with the team or ask questions or just show off what you're building, we'll be there hanging out and doing that. So again, it's discord.gg/Makko, M-A-K-K-O. Bam.
Bam.
You did it.
Going at it.
So in the last few minutes here, Brandon, why don't we recap real quick where we started, what we built, and what we're going to do next. And it sounds like a big part of what we're going to do next is starting to like really find the fun and make it interesting beyond just like the mechanics feel okay. But that's just my take. So where did we start today? What did we work on? What are we working on next? Those are the questions.
Yeah, so for Rift Runners, we started here in the sandbox area just to make sure that all of our existing mechanics felt okay. We added a couple different things to test out some flows and how the mechanics can flow together. And then we're like, all right, we're ready to move on to our first intro level. So then we put Claude into deep research mode. We gave it our game design doc that we created beforehand, and we asked it to go ahead and research how we should think about our first level, our intro level, what would make it fun, what game design elements, mechanics can we think about when we're making it. So then it came back with a research document that we kind of did the TLDR for, and then we went in and had it generate this intro level over here. And so it did a good job getting tutorials together in the intro with the different mechanics that we have. I think it was missing a couple mechanics like a slide and a dash, but we can go ahead and add that later. And then it also started out with some tab swap era stuff for that mechanic. And we did really like how it did, let's say, a puzzle for this wall grab section over here. Yeah, where you have to go to era 2 to get up here. But then we realized that it was pretty obvious when we needed to do an era swap. And so I think we had some really good discussion on what we can change with this intro level, what we can change about the era swap mechanic itself to make it just make sense naturally. So my goal that I want to do is fix some bugs that we discovered here before next stream, and then go ahead and make sure we have tutorials for the mechanics in here, and then go ahead and test out some of the swapping stuff that we were talking about. So then we can do, like you said, try to find some more of that fun here, try to find that unique thing for Rift Runners that isn't a part of another game.
And I think we decided that this is actually going to be either the first level or like maybe a bonus level, but we're going to turn this into, this is going to be this is no longer a sandbox mode. This is going to be a playable level is what we decided. And we're going to work on it until it's a fun playable level, right?
That's right. This thing that's labeled intro level will be our first fun playable level where you go through all the mechanics and in a fun way.
Awesome. Well, Brandon, we appreciate it. We're excited to come back next week and see the progress you've made. On the sector scavengers side, we started today by showing off some of the balance changes that we made. We went and created a simulation with Claude that helped us determine how the game should be tuned and balanced such that it doesn't feel like there are no consequences to playing the cards that you're playing, and that the player feels like every decision that they make matters. So I created a simulation in Claude to help balance the cards and the energy that you spend when you play them and the amount of damage that they do or repair. And then we built all of that into the game and played it for a little bit. And then next week we will show off how that tuning and how that simulation has resulted in something that we feel is like a compelling single loop run. And we'll run through that. We didn't quite get there today because I don't think the simulation is done yet, and we haven't actually integrated everything that we should. Because if we had, those rounds would be feeling snappier and better. So we're just going to keep doing that until they do. And I'm sure Jeremy will have feedback along the way, and you guys hopefully will have feedback along the way. And then lastly, we're going to spend some time next week diving into any of the upcoming product roadmap things that we talked about here. We might be talking a little bit more about how we're thinking about Godot, or how we're thinking about the web stuff that Jeremy's working on. I don't know if I'm allowed to use the E word yet, but the stuff that Jeremy's working on. And then also we decided we're going to dig into some examples of things that other people have created on the site and do a little showcase of fun stuff. So we're excited to catch you all next week. And again, if you have any questions or you want to hang out, go to discord.gg/Makko, Makko, and you can come hang out with the team. Jeremy, anything else before we sign off?
Nope. That seems good to me.
All right. Thanks, everyone. Again, discord.gg/Makko, Makko. We'll see y'all soon.
All right, later.